Oh boy, here we are in anti-work yet again. I bet you're all really looking forward to me freaking out and ranting, and oh my god, the timer's already here. Holy crap. Okay, fine. As target security, my department in the last 14 days alone stopped $15,000 worth of theft. Our district manager dropped by and gave us candy as a thank you. Woo! There is nothing more demeaning than this. Okay, there are, but for the sake of your job, this is so awful. It's so bad. Look at how good we are at our jobs. Thanks for the Halloween candy. We're not 9, though. The whole concept of sick days is idolatrous. Anyway, capitalism. When we started work in the Netherlands, we asked HR how many sick days we get. After a brief confused look, the reply, all of them. When you're sick, you stay home. When you're well, you work. Dutch law, translated, reads, if you own a company in the Netherlands and one of your employees becomes ill, you must go on paying them for a maximum of 2 years. I love how barista is the job conservatives bring up as a lazy slacker job, when one shift at a moderately busy Starbucks would have them crouched between stacks of milk crates sobbing in the back room. They know it, but they also know they're never going to have to disprove that. You know what I mean? I also don't know why I've been saying you know what I mean more often lately. I don't know, it just popped into my vocabulary. I apologize. Don't start taking shots every time I do it because you will die. You call off work at your minimum wage job because of this. What's the boss gonna say back? Okay, yeah, well, I feel like the boss could say pretty much anything. But no matter what they say, they're gonna look like a douche. It's just so weird to me that not too long ago, someone with a regular old job could buy a house. Like an entire house with just their job money. Oh, and they could afford to have a wife at home that doesn't work and several children. My Five Guys closed. Nobody wants to work sign in the window. I guess the owner doesn't want to work either. If they get paid more than 5 times their regular employees, they should be worth more than 5 of the employees, and hence can do all 5 of their jobs by themselves. Yeah, forcing us to come in on a day off for some stupid meeting. Okay, all employees must come in. It's not a choice. Yeah, f*** you. That's what it is. Bye-bye. I'm hearing too much recycle, compost, go vegan, and not enough 100 corporations cause 71% of emissions. How I dress for my job interview, how the interviewer dresses. Yeah, I understand dressing up a little bit nicer, but I'm getting real sick and tired of that boomer wear-a-suit bull. Come on, man. This is McDonald's. Grow the hell up. I used the restroom 2 times a day, and I work from home. I'm now being scheduled for a meeting with my managers. At this point, we've asked you to minimize your away from desks, reminded you of the goals, and have met with you. Unfortunately, you continue to not meet these established guidelines. A supervisor will follow up with coaching. No, they won't. This right here is why that stupid mouse jiggling device exists. Just your regular reminder that the $15 an hour debate has been going on for so long that the actual living wage is now around $24 an hour. Man, and when we finally get 15 kinda everywhere, it's gonna be like 32. Wow. Just no. Elon Musk is under fire for building bedrooms at Twitter HQ for employees. I don't get it. To be honest, I slept under my desk at least 3 nights a week when I worked in banking. The first time I got promoted to a manager, I had to work 16 to 18 hours routinely. I'd finish at 2 to 3 a.m., sleep on the floor, janitor would show up at 7, I'd go shower in the gym and pick up my dry cleaning and change into it, and back to work. I always wore my hair up, and it was always wet because I never had the time to blow dry it. That's how intense the grind was. I would have killed for a bed in the office. This kind of grind is highly desirable early career. You are so stupid. No, you're not cool. You're not on the Sigma grind set. You're a moron. Another whining CEO. Unpopular advice. Stop jumping between jobs so much. 1 to 2 years in a job is not enough. You'll never actually learn to do your job well if you keep jumping. It's a huge red flag to me, and in my opinion, it's not worth the 20% salary bump you're gonna get. Does this make me old school? The 20% salary bump? What the hell do you mean not worth? Anything's worth a 20% salary bump, my guy. Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk do a ton of objectively bad stuff, but I just want to be clear that the mere act of holding on to that much money in a world with this much inequality is, in itself, a brutally evil action, and alone makes them bad people. If there's room in the budget for $858 billion in defense spending, there's room for climate action, childcare, healthcare, and housing. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It's only an unpaid internship if you don't steal enough office supplies. Stealing is wrong. You mean unpaid internships? I agree. Joel Osteen, one of the richest pastors in the U.S., has 5 fireplaces, 3 elevators, and a driveway that can fit over 20 cars, including his Ferrari. Joel doesn't pay his taxes, but you do. Why is this? Oh, but he's a man of God. Honestly, out of all of the super rich people that take advantage of others, I have to say, these arena preachers are definitely at the bottom level of hell when they're gone. Joel, you. 2023 is officially the 4th calendar year that student debt payments have been paused. If they can be paused that long, they should be canceled. Voted 6 times to raise his pay, voted 15 times against raising the minimum wage. Can't believe this tortoise is still around. Company asked us to install a certificate on our personal devices to access Teams and Outlook. Oh, no, absolutely not. Unless the company is explicitly paying for said device, they will never, ever touch it in any way, shape, or form. Not yours. Suck my balls, friend. Domino's likes to shave a little off the top. Oh, yeah, that's super great. All right, hold on. I gotta zoom in here a little bit. Okay. Direct deposit is offered at a rate of $1.75 per payroll period. This is automatically deducted from your paycheck each pay period. Nope, you're giving me paper checks. Absolutely not. You will not be taking any amount of money for something that is free for every other employer, okay? Hell, even frickin' Walmart isn't this petty. And I understand one makes a lot more money than the other, but I don't give a shit. A fun series of events in Finland. Ooh, I'm literally there right now. Let's see. Postal Service cuts pay of 700 sorters. Strike called. 60,000 workers join in solidarity shutting down docks, rail buses, and airlines. Postal Service cancels pay cut. Minister of State Ownership resigns. Prime Minister resigns. When in the world did this happen? Strikes hurt. You know what else hurts? Working sick, in pain, away from your family, in unsafe conditions, hungry, while your company makes billions in profits. Withholding our labor is a direct result of ownership withholding our share. Our share is literally the biggest and most important one, so it's insane. Put the politicians on minimum wage and watch how fast things change. I can't believe they make as much money as they do. Why do they make that much money? When Elon Musk's personal assistant, Mary Beth Brown, asked for a raise in 2014, he told her to take 2 weeks off of work so he could see how valuable she really was. After the 2 weeks, he took over the job and fired her? He fired his assistant for asking for a raise. Of course he did. He can't afford one. Come on, think about it. Why won't anybody think about the richest human beings to ever exist? Why is it easier to believe that 150 million Americans are being lazy rather than 400 Americans are being greedy? We always know the answers. Corporate profits reached an all-time high of... Okay, that is whoo. Meanwhile, real wages declined more than 8.5%. The problem is, and has always been, corporate greed and the politicians, who do nothing to stop it. Well, they do nothing to stop it because they're getting their fair share. They're getting more than their fair share. They really are. Conservative, so a janitor should make $15 an hour? Me, yes. And I guess kids flipping burgers should make $15 an hour? Yes. Next, you're gonna tell me that grocers should. Did you just have this list of people you don't respect ready to go? Oh, dude, yeah, that list is inexhaustible, okay? They don't respect anyone. Forgot to update my LinkedIn and got vaguely threatened with legal action? Hold on. Please note that your LinkedIn profile currently still shows Keeper as your present employer. Please update your profile to reflect your leave date accordingly. I've CC'd our general counsel on this email to be aware of the issue if further escalation is required. F***ing what? Jesus, chill out. 3 multi-billionaires now own more wealth than the bottom half of America, 160 million Americans. Don't tell us we can't afford a wealth tax on the super rich. Imagine saying we can't afford a wealth tax. What the hell does that even mean? I've contributed around $160,000 to various landlords over the last 10 years as a renter. Never missed rent. Can't qualify for a mortgage. It's not about coffee and Netflix. It's about a predatory system of housing that uses a basic human right as an investment opportunity. Well, yeah, spices aren't really hitting it anymore. You know what I'm saying? So they have to find ways to monetize literally everything else to make more money. CEOs are hugely expensive. Why not automate them? If a single role is as expensive as thousands of workers, it's surely the prime candidate for robot-induced redundancy. It absolutely is. Someday, you just kind of got to wake up and get those boards of directors to start axing people that cost $30 million a year, because they're not worth it. Was caught with a coffee cup at work. The next day, everyone's water privileges were revoked. I worked as a cashier at AC Moore. I had a coffee cup under the register that I would drink from when there were no customers in line or in view. My boss found this cup, grabbed it, said no, absolutely not, and took it to the break room. The next day, there was a passive-aggressive letter posted in the office saying that some employee abused the water privilege, and now no one's allowed to have water at the cash register. Oh, cool! They're denying you f***ing water. Maybe not completely. I mean, duh, right? But holy crap, yeah, you can find just as crappy a job across the street. It doesn't matter. Screw this crap. Millionaire, age 23, claims anyone can be rich in their 20s if they stop scrolling, as he calls his generation lazy. Wait, hold on. There's gotta be more to this story, right? Like, oh yeah, my dad actually owns a multi-billion-dollar company or some crap like that. But no, he made me work my way up. This is why there's a rush to get us back to the office. The office real estate crash will be so sharp and deep that Capital Economics thinks office values are unlikely to recover by 2040. Oh no! Maybe we should let people work from home and then turn those office buildings into real housing. You know what I mean? That's just a lot of wasted space for absolutely no goddamn reason, just so they have an easier time controlling you. Just work harder. Gavin Newsom ordered the what? Homelessness and Housing Initiative to find out just how bad San Francisco's crisis is. People are homeless because their rent is too high. The survey found that when nearly 3,200 people lost housing, their median income was $960 a month. For renters on leases, it was $1,400. In San Francisco, $960 a month. You wouldn't be able to make any payment with that money in San Francisco. That place is a nightmare. To those that live there, I do apologize. I hope to God something gets fixed there soon. We've got so much money floating around in the universe. Let's catch one of those comets and mine it. The rental housing crisis is a supply problem that needs supply solutions. The median annual pay during the Great Depression was 22% of the cost of an average home. Today, it's 14%. That means that pay relative to home cost made it easier to buy a home during the Great Depression than right now. This is absurd. Well, I think the very, very first thing we need to do is make it illegal for anybody else, or rather, illegal for anything other than a human being or a family of human beings to own a home. All right? Corporations? No. Any type of company whatsoever? No. Any business? No. Absolutely not. Why are they allowed to buy up 1 billion homes with cash over asking price to entice homeowners to do it? Because of course that benefits them. Why are they allowed to do that? How many homes in the United States are just empty? Literally empty right now. I bet if you looked into it, that answer might kind of freak you the hell out, especially in relation to how many homeless individuals we have across the country. It's funny that businesses are begging for workers instead of just getting those robots we're told will so easily replace us if we raise the minimum wage. We've been threatened with robots for so long now, and it's so funny whenever they do try. I mean, look, self-checkout's been very successful, but you notice that there are plenty of regular lines open at the grocery store still? I mean, okay, sorry, let me rephrase that. Not open. There's usually 45 lanes that 2 employees are working, and I feel bad for them because they have to deal with a line of 900 people. Ron Perlman, the absolute legend. One thing before I get off this video. The who said we're gonna keep this thing going until people start losing their houses and apartments. Listen to me, There's a lot of ways to lose your house. Some of it's financial, some of it's karma. And some of it's just figuring out who the f said that. And we know who said that and where he lives. There's a lot of ways to lose your house. You wish that on people? You wish that families starve while you're making $27 million a year for creating nothing? Be careful, mother. Be really careful, because that's the kind of that stirs up. Peace out. I'd like to thank Ron Perlman for being one of the coolest dudes I've ever seen in my life. Now, he was alluding to a certain man we're not going to name here on EmKay making $27 million a year, but he does indeed apparently run, allegedly, none of this is proven, he does allegedly run a certain goofy or silly, whimsical company with theme parks or something like that I'm a big fan of, unfortunately. But yeah, I can't imagine being a CEO of a company like that and thinking that you're actually worth anywhere near what you're being paid. Because he's pretty I'm a secret shopper that goes in and doesn't rat out the employees. I get paid to eat and always give a positive review. Hell to the yes. I'm sick of big companies trying to spy on employees. Some of the questions are just to find out who is slacking off. They want exact times and such. Even if I see someone not extremely excited to be at work, yeah, that's a question. I say they are. Screw them, and thanks for the money and free food. Thank you. Thank you very much. I've been secret shoppered at some of my jobs. We appreciate you. We are closed due to Alex walking out. We apologize for the inconvenience. You trying to shame him for knowing that he's worth more? I've been yelled at by people. I've been yelled at by family for saying that I am worth more than minimum wage before, because it was considered arrogant. I was very mistreated by people who were close to me in my life for thinking and knowing that I as a human being am worth more than $8 an hour or $11 an hour or anything like that. You are too. You're worth more than that as well. You're always worth more than you ever think. Trust me. And don't ever let anybody close to you shame you or make you feel like an arrogant asshole for knowing that you are worth an appropriate amount, okay? I hate this place. This is a new one for me. Thank you for applying on Indeed. I'd love to set up a time to talk with you this week. Please find a time on my calendar here. Also, to let you know, I am going to reject your application from Indeed. Don't let that worry you, though. We only do this so our company does not get charged for your application. Cool. A sushi restaurant in Oregon has to pay $375,000 after they were caught stealing wages from 11 workers and threatening to fire anyone who kept their cash tips. Nobody will go to jail for this, and the media doesn't give a shit. I like that. I like that a company, regardless of its size, can absolutely rob people blind. Absolutely rob them. And you can for sure trace that decision back to either one person or at least a small group of certain people, but they will never be punished for actual thievery. Isn't that great? I got fired. I dislocated my shoulder. 2 doctors told me it'd take 4 weeks to heal. I told my boss my progress every week, and he kept wishing my healing well. Come the 3rd week, I let him know I'm ready to come back next week, and he let me know he'd already replaced me. I feel so much anger for the work industry. I give them so much. A committed schedule, good personality, good service, conscientiousness, promptness, attention to detail, good and careful driving, good communication, etc. I get injured and no loyalty. Freaking replaced me while pretending I still had the job, only to let me know when I'm ready to come back. Duckin' bastards, man. People no longer believe working hard will lead to a better life, survey shows. What? Kindly look inward, dear landlords. The enemy is from within and not outside. My landlord wants to increase my rent from August by £150 due to also being affected by inflation as well as rate rise they can't afford to keep the rent at the same level. So I sent him this. No worries, thank you for letting me know. Please do tell the landlord that if she's struggling for more money, then perhaps she should get a real job and earn her own money instead of stealing mine. Regards, Florence. Okay? Yeah, isn't that great? Suck it! They fired my husband and have since come crawling back. Ooh, yes. We like that. My husband was fired from his job in January of 2021 after 10 plus years because we got COVID and he was down for the count for a month. 2 weeks ago, out of the blue, one of the higher-ups sent him a text asking him to reach out because she hadn't talked to him in a year. Yesterday, I found his old job being advertised for $5 more than what he was making when he was fired. This is the 3rd time since he was fired that I've seen it advertised. My husband was a construction manager. He took the job at 19, so he wasn't aware of the real value his work and position had. When he was fired, he was making $17 an hour. It's been a year and a half, and they're realizing they can't get anyone else to do that job for less than $30. I told him to reach back out out and tell them he'll come back, but not for less than $45 an hour. You damn straight. Coming from Forbes, how did the writer sneak this one in? The forced return to the office is the definition of insanity. After 5 consecutive quarters of declining productivity, CEOs must abandon the sinking ship of forced in-office work and embrace flexible work. Yeah, they won't. South Park's creators have eliminated tipping at Denver's famed Casa Bonita. Servers now make $30 an hour, and some are mad. Yeah, the wrong people are mad. The people that we don't give a rat's ass about are mad. That's who. But I'm sure that the people that are making $30 an hour starting as a server at Casa Bonita, not even to say for the people that work in the kitchen or janitorial, that's pretty goddamn great. Okay, I've been to Casa Bonita. I'm really, really glad that these two fine billionaires bought the place and really shined it up. I can't wait to go back and support the business and all the people that work there. These two have been just fantastic heroes to me my whole life. I love these two psychopaths with all my heart. Isn't it great, though, to see them actually doing something at least decent? At least decent? This is like the bare minimum that people with their level of money could do. They did it out of real, pure, unironic love for a place they grew up adoring, and then went, okay, well, the people that work here deserve to be paid at least well, which in Denver, $30 an hour may still not be enough. Denver's pretty pricey now, dude. But you know what? It's a lot better than it was before. Not sure what they were making before, but there was no way it was more than 15, all right? Regret bringing more slaves into the world. No lying. Did you regret having children? Yes. My son is 27, suffering from chronic depression in a low-paying dead-end job without the faintest idea of how to get out of it. His life is an unending continuum of unhappiness and dissatisfaction. If I knew that he would develop like this, I would not have had him. I would not want to bring a person into this world outside of his own volition. What? If I knew that he would experience no joy in his existence. I was under the impression that almost all living creatures had at least the capacity for joie de vivre. I can't read that. And I assumed that it would be so for my child as well. I'm sorry, son. I don't know what to do. Boss is upset that I have a second job. Okay? This is a rant more so than anything. So I just got a second job at a large retail store that provides me with enough hours to finally make ends meet. After my first paycheck, I finally paid off a fine and my car. But the boss at my first job, gas station, doesn't seem too happy. He was encouraging about getting another job and also provided a good reference. But suddenly last week he got upset. He said, "Will you still come in if we need a shift covered?" And I said, "No, probably not. I have a part-time contract of 10 hours and have been working there for over a year. I've never worked more than 15 hours a week. I'm a full-time student as well." He seemed pissed that I suddenly was not at his beck and call and said, "We expect you to be flexible." And I said I was, for a year, but you didn't give me enough hours. I'm unreasonably annoyed by this. It just pushed my buttons, okay? They just hired a casual too. He's lucky I didn't quit on the spot. I know that you need that job, but man, 15 hours a week, I feel like we could find that for you anywhere, man. Hell, even at Spirit Halloween when it opens, all right? Screw that douchebag. United States. I don't know why I read it like that. It just felt right. I don't know. $72.5 million class action settlement. When you control an employee's time, you must pay them. Home Depot, oh great company, has to pay $72 million for employees to stand around. That's correct, okay? Employees just standing around have to be paid. Yeah, I'm not even gonna read this because I know what it's about, okay? I remember, again, with the UPS store, I know I've talked about it a couple of times. I remember that new owner that I mentioned before that got rid of a bunch of stuff. Well, he actually called me one day and told me to throw away the chairs and stools in my store. Wasn't a busy store. He just didn't like me sitting the f*** down and wanted to make sure that I stood at the counter. There's really not much that I can do, okay? There's not much that everybody can do. That's a big thing with the unions, actually. When I worked for IATSE, not as a full member, I was never a full member of IATSE, but I was, what's the term? Regardless, I did work with them and for them a couple of times, and standing around, sometimes that's part of the job, and they know it, and they don't care. When you can't be doing something, you can't be doing something. And yeah, if you control an employee's time, which is what you are doing, you owe them money. Hey guys, just a thought. But how about instead of canceling celebrities for comments they made years ago, we start boycotting companies that want bachelor's degrees and 3 to 5 years of experience for $13 an hour entry-level jobs. You know what? We should start freaking out a little bit more about $13 being entry-level anywhere. $13 should be absolutely nowhere at all, okay? If it's not enough for a human being to live on, and I'm not counting part-time, I know part-time is different, I do understand that, but if you're working full-time and you can't afford a home, then no, that place does not deserve to be in business. Just move to a place you can afford. Here's a map of the United States, but it's only states where someone making $15 an hour can afford a 2-bedroom apartment, okay? And I know our good buddy Zach is from Arkansas, or at least, please for the love of God, tell me that's Arkansas and not something completely different. But yeah, look at that. Look at that right there. We've only got a few choices. 3, okay? And I know there are people out there that will look at this and go, 2 bedrooms? You don't need that, you selfish piece of shit. Okay, that's not the point. I'm a human being. And you know, like me personally, I would need a 2nd bedroom. Why? Because I need an office to do my work. Oh, you can do that in your bedroom. Right now I do, okay? I do. I'm really, really sick and tired of people also trying to pull up the argument of, you don't need that much room, as if a 1-bedroom or a studio are any cheaper. Because I'm gonna blow your mind. A lot of the times, them being cheaper doesn't really pull much weight. Paris is drowning in trash because the bin men have gone on permanent strike against the retirement increase. Their energy bills are 50% of ours. They retire 6 years earlier. Their pension is 2 times higher. Yet, they'll still strike. Why are they better off? Because they strike. Yes, individually we beg. United, we bargain. All right? I fully support every strike across the world from every union and guild that I possibly can. Okay? I absolutely do, right? If I were a part of the Screen Actors Guild, which I had been trying to get into for years, I would absolutely be in Los Angeles with them right now on the streets. And that's the truth of the matter, okay? You know, a lot of people like to poke fun at Ron Perlman or somebody else who's down there with them who are millionaires. Like, oh, they don't need to worry, they're millionaires. Okay, I get that. But they're there because of the 84% of members of that union that don't make enough money to qualify for healthcare. The actors and people that are a part of it that really are the ones that would be seriously hurt by everything that's going on. So just remember, unions are not the baddie boy guys. They're not the bad men, okay? Just don't fall for people telling you they're the bad guys. I've worked with unions, I've worked for unions, blah, blah, blah. They're great, okay? I had never been paid more in my life up until working with IATSE on a few stage gigs, okay? It blew my mind that they were able to do that. It was awesome. I loved it. And I don't have much more to say on the matter, but I'm union strong, even though I'm technically not actually a part of one. I will do whatever I can to support them. And you know what? UPS, I hope you guys strike too, because everybody deserves to be treated like a goddamn person. Everybody deserves to make enough money to own a home and have a family and eat and drink. Everybody deserves that, okay? And that's all there is to it. Nobody is your friend. Just mind your business, learn all you can, do your job, get your paycheck, go home. I mean, yeah, I guess, but maybe don't be a dick. Working your whole life just to enjoy a few years when you're close to death is one of the biggest scams. It really is. You destroy your body for like 40 to 50 years, and then when your body is at its worst, when you have no energy, when you can't bear to travel the world and see all the things you missed out on, that's when it's okay for you to stop working. Nah, dude. Just work me till I'm dead, I guess. When you learn that there are horses with better work-life balances, not only do the horses get the benefit of 133 vacation days, they also only work 5-hour work days. Let's see. Along with everything mentioned above during each shift, the animals are given plenty of rest, making sure each animal gets a 15-minute break. Isn't that awesome? A competing company is offering us 20% more to work for them. Management's response. Let's see. We seriously appreciate you. Milk is in the refrigerator. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to the other company now. I'd show up every day like SpongeBob. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Would you flip burgers for a salary of $350 grand a year? You would? Damn. Sounds like people are okay with working. It's the money that's the problem. Oh, dude. $350K? I would do anything you asked. Anything. I'm probably going to be fired for this, but I don't care. I'm concerned. Just found out a coworker worked a 99-hour week last week and is on schedule to work over 100 this week. He works in a different department. They're extremely short-staffed. How is this legal? This is insane to me. Kansas, by the way. Yeah, I guess it depends on... Nah, you know what? F that. Nobody, no matter their job, should be working 100 hours a week. Nope, I don't care what it is. Nobody should have to do that, ever. What aren't people talking about enough? How 70 to 80-year-olds are generally regarded as unemployable due to mental decline and skill mismatch, yet they're exclusively running the country. This is very interesting. No, it's not interesting, it's horrifying. At 80 plus years old, I should not be entrusted to run anything anymore. I should be out fishing and drinking myself into a stupor every night because I made it. I made it to the end of life, bro. I shouldn't be running everything, let alone a country or the world, you know? It's supposed to be left for the younger generation. My boss denied me a raise before my shift today. What's some music you've never wanted to hear in a coffee shop? Oh boy, nothing but Crazy Frog all day long. You're a nasty little man, and I'm not working for you anymore. He just stood there, staring open-mouthed as I got the lads to help me load my toolboxes into my car. There isn't a shortage of skilled workers, there's a shortage of people willing to put up with pay, bosses, everything. I spent 20 plus years as a mechanic and now mow lawns and occasionally pick fruit. Yeah, that guy. Sometimes the people that complain of lack of workers are the same ones who make us leave. That's what I have to say about that. Someone stole $950 worth of items from a Walgreens. There were 309 news stories about it. Walgreens was caught stealing $4.5 million from its employees. It got one story. Yeah, because they paid to make sure that happened, I'm certain. Is Walgreens owned by anybody? Who am I kidding? That question is stupid. Everybody's owned by one big company. Sorta, right? There are like 5 to 10 companies that own the planet. Attention, we do not get our tips. Our boss takes them all. Pretty sure that's illegal. For more info, please talk to cashier. How about we talk to the boss? If I had ever tipped there, I'd be demanding my money back. Shout out to our parents for hitting an absolute timeline sweet spot. Drop in right after a world war. Have a bunch of weird sex before HIV. Buy a house for like $20,000. Start a family. Retire young and peace out right before the ocean kills us. They're the reason the ocean's doing it too. Well, they're a big part of the reason. Not the only reason. But yeah, that's why I think George Carlin said it best when the boomers were the most entitled, whiniest motherfuckers in history. Not all of them. Some of those hippies stayed hippies and are still hippies to this day. But a lot of them just, wow. How did the hippie generation turn into this? Management's letter on salary increment. It's the end of October. I'm a performing employee. Guess who didn't receive a raise? There are still many challenges ahead of us. Hence, management, no choice to postpone the annual salary increment till October of this year. I urge every one of you to give your contribution 100% to achieve our goal set this year. I can assure you that the company will reward you. No, you won't. No, you won't. Got a new manager at work and he said he doesn't believe in working from home and wants the office back in 5 days a week from Monday. I've never seen so many resignation letters in my life. Yeah, he can f*** off. Don't tell me how rude our generation is. Because I've worked in customer service for over 3 years and I've never had someone close to my age yell and freak out on me like the older generation does. Again, it's those boomers. Gen X is a very close second when it comes to verbal and sometimes, physical abuse of people working in the service industry. It's utterly insane, utterly embarrassing, and yeah, I don't understand. You know, my grandparents always told me, be polite, say please, say thank you, treat people with respect. And then people from their same generation who were telling their kids and grandkids the same will go to an IHOP and tell a woman to herself. Feels like it should be a bigger story that a Hyundai plant in Alabama got busted this week for hiring dozens of kids as young as 12 years old to manufacture parts in a metal shop with numerous health and safety citations, including for maimed limbs. What? What? This happened in July? What? I'm genuinely stunned. Big Mac in the US, $5.66. Big Mac in Denmark, $4.90. That's actually the equivalent? Really? And a McDonald's worker in Denmark makes $22 an hour, gets 6 weeks of annual vacation, gets a union, gets a year of paid family leave, gets life insurance, and a pension. In America, the same worker gets $9 an hour with none of that. Man, the populace is so hungry right now, and I feel like the ones that are running the world think we're kidding. They think it's just a meme that we're going to French Revolution this any day now. I don't know why they think we're kidding. Missionaries thought Hawaiians were lazy because by noon, Hawaiians were surfing, doing art, and socializing. What they didn't see was that they started the day at dawn and were so efficient and organized that they were done planting, harvesting, and cooking for the entire day by 9 a.m. Yeah, what a weird thought. When I worked at Comcast, the most sought-after schedule, because you had to bid for schedules. Straight up the weirdest shit I've ever seen. But the schedule everyone wanted the most was starting at 6 a.m. and leaving at 1 p.m. That was the one, man. That was it. Aside from the few guys that got a 410, they were doing pretty all right as well. Still, wow, dude. Oh yeah, I'll definitely going on my day off just to take a picture. Let's see, we're taking a new store picture at 1:30. Meet at the service desk. We'll be wearing our blue polo shirts. Everyone's asked to join in. Let's be proud of where we work and what we do, even if it's your day off, come into... No, I will not be doing that. I'm sorry, no, it's my day off. You can go f*** off. Pooping in a bucket. Just trying to get others' input on how crazy this is. As of yesterday, our toilets, men's room, around 2 and 2 urinals, and women's, 1 toilet, are useless. Apparently our pipes rotted away and they're full of dirt and soil. We're a fairly small company with 20 to 30 employees. Me and 2 other coworkers are just shocked at how no one else at the company seems to think this is a big deal. It is a law to provide working restrooms? Or am I crazy? The water isn't usable to wash your hands. The closest restroom is a 5-minute drive from our place of work. If someone has legit diarrhea, they'll more than likely have to shit their pants before reaching a toilet. So wait, did they give you a bucket, like a literal bucket, as recompense for this? Is that what they're doing or something different? I don't get the argument that employers can't afford to pay $15 an hour. That's the value of labor. If I can't afford a Porsche, then I can't get one. I don't get to demand a discount on Porsches. If a business can't afford labor, that's on the business, not the labor market. You know, there's a decent point in there for sure. If you can't afford me, then you can't afford me. My daughter was just offered a teaching position at $16.25 an hour. She has 2 masters in education. That's just under $33,000 a year. No wonder they can't find good teachers. She was making $55K a year as a bartender. Our priorities are f***ed up. After a post about the employee policy went viral here, my boyfriend lost his job. Not sure if this violates the no repost rule, but as an update, following the post going viral, he was fired without cause. Apparently, this is legal in our state. Man, the employment laws here in Florida do not support work. No, they don't support people anywhere, in the US anyway. Everyone wants people to work for free. Let's see what we got here. Hey, I'm running a business that shows restaurant owners how to retain their staff better and keep them happy in their jobs. What are your most important things that restaurants can do, or rather, what are the most important things, not your, that restaurants can do or not do in order to keep their staff happy? Hi, I'd be more than willing to help you out, but I don't work for free. I thought you wanted to make the restaurant industry better. Or do you just want to complain about your problems? You're running a business. Why would I do consulting for free? Yeah, f*** off. I'm a skilled tradesman who's supposed to get a $3,000 bonus at the end of the year for making the company $150,000 in profit per my contract. I doubled it, which is supposed to increase my bonus. This is what I received. 100% done with this salary. Okay, so they breached your contract. They owe you over $3,000. If it was in your contract, and hopefully there was no caveat or fine print written in there, that says that they get to actually do whatever they want, I think they're owed some legal action. Don't union. But if they are, there be collaborative. That title's a nightmare, buddy. Promotes a union-free atmosphere and, where appropriate, establishes collaborative relations with unions. Reminder, if a team runs itself for 6 months while you hire a manager, You shouldn't be hiring, you should be promoting. Yeah, quit doing outside hires. There's a bunch of people right there that might actually want the job. Sometimes it's not worth it because being a middle manager sucks, but you know, business. Pepsi has sued 4 Indian farmers $150,000 each for growing the type of potato used in the chips of its Lay's brand. What stage of capitalism is it when massive corporations can sue poor people for growing food? I think we know what stage. I worked for a billing office and built programs to make it easier to keep track of clients, payments, and records. I was fired and told to finish out 2 weeks. In that time, I removed every program I'd created and put them back on their outdated original program. Yeah, they don't own that work. Come. It's your creation, man. Millennials watching the Gen Z working class quit via text without notice. Hell yeah, dude. Okay, fine. We'll take the babysitter rate. $10 a kid at 6.5 hours a day. That's 65 times 28 kids. Class equals, okay, all right. Not bad. Not bad at all. I don't have kids and probably never will. I support universal childcare and paid maternal leave. I'm never going back to college. I support free college. I don't make minimum wage. I support increasing it above the cost of living. This is called wanting a better life for people. Oh, believe me, the people that are against all that, no. They know exactly what it is. They are just genuinely mean-spirited, disgusting people that hate you and literally wouldn't care if you were murdered right in front of them. You may think, well, that's a bit... No, it's not dramatic. It's true, and it's sad. A new show called Sweeping Up with the Kardashians, where Kim is forced to work for minimum wage in the retail and service industries for 1 year, without access to any of her assets. And then read back quotes she said about getting to work. I do feel like if you are worth over a certain amount of money, this legit should be a requirement. I heard a rumor once, I don't think it's true at all, and if any of you have ever worked at a Disney park or higher up in Disney, you can probably confirm this isn't true. But I heard that for a while, Bob Iger was forcing higher-ranking executives to go and work at a low-level position in the parks for like a week out of the year, just to remind them, hey, you got it good. I don't think that's true at all. Again, it was just something I heard, but it would be incredible if more companies forced their suits to do the jobs they think they understand. It do be like that. Wage increases, the Flash for some reason, inflation, Twitter universe. My friend did a drug test for a part-time job for the local school district. When she got her results, she found out that the district also did a pregnancy test. Besides ethical issues, this seems like a legal red flag given she wasn't told this would be done. Yeah, how is that legal? I did not give you consent to do anything other than a general drug panel. That's weird as hell. Super creepy in my opinion, and very gross. I did not give you I don't care if it's just something that goes along with it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, it'll take us half a second. We could figure it out right now. It's none of your business. Exclusively none of your business. And I'm sorry, I keep being given the subreddits that the editor has to bleep out a lot more words than usual because I get mad at these. You give me the angry subreddits so that I will rant, and then you time my rants, even though it's what you want. It's what you're asking of me. That's a no for me. You'd like the day off? Yes, please. So you want the day off. Let's take a look at what you're asking for. No. There are 365 days per year available to work. There are 52 weeks per year in which you already have 2 days off per week, leaving 261 days available for work. Since you spend 16 hours each day away from work, you've used up 170 days, leaving only 91 days available. What? You spend 30 minutes each day on a coffee break. That accounts for 23 days a year, leaving only 68 days available. With 1 lunch period each day, you've already used up another 46 days, only leaving 22 days. You normally spend 2 days per year on sick leave. This leaves you with 20 days available for work. We're off for 5 holidays a year, so your available working time is down to 15 days. We generously give you 14 days vacation per year, which leaves only 1 day available for work, and I'll be darned if you're gonna take that day off. I don't know where any of these numbers are coming from, aside from there being 365 days a year and 52 weeks in a year, okay? I don't know what you mean by 261 days available for work. Your math is really strange and stupid on purpose, so you can actually wipe my ass. How about that, you know? I mean, come on. How stupid can you be? We know what you're trying to do. Watching The Incredibles and saw this when Bob gets called into his boss's office. No wonder he threw him through 15 walls. Oh wait, what is this? Hold on a second here. I can't, is this I'm trying to read it. One second. Yeah, I can't make out what, am I supposed to be trying to read it? Is it like a letter of you're fired or something? I don't know, dude. Oh, here we go. Thank you. I don't know why I didn't assume that someone was going to translate it for me. Okay. To employee from Gilbert Hugh. Due to financial cutbacks, you'll now be expected to self-expense all office supplies, including but not limited to pencils, erasers, pens, paper, stationery, folders, staples, paper clips, brads, and photocopies. All parking will now be metered by the hour. Electricity consumption and all telephone charges will be deducted from your paycheck. The board of directors at InsurAcare wishes to thank you for your selfless sacrifice. No, man, they really went above and beyond to make this the worst company on earth. Can you imagine having to foot the electric bill and telephone bill and pay for parking for your goddamn employer? Oh, just imagine how cartoonishly evil that would be. Now that we know that this exists, I wonder which dingleberry at Comcast or another giant, Comcast being evil, of course, I wonder how long it is before they do that to their employees. I grew up poor in the 80s. It beats 2023. My dad worked at a pizza place and my mom didn't. He was the manager or assistant manager. He made and sometimes delivered pizzas. He bought a very cheap house, which today would cost $350,000. Had 3 children, 2 cars. We were always fed, went to the movies, had Nintendo. This might not sound poor, but all of my clothes were secondhand. The cars were older, and some people at school let me know that I was poor. We never went on vacations. We lived in the bad part of town. But 80s poor was so much better than today. I'm old poor, and I know poor, and the way people have to live today is horrific. I've never seen so many unhoused people in my life. The price gouging for cars, rent, and real estate is disgusting. Capitalism is a monster that is actively making our lives more difficult. That is correct. Sure, there might be some benefits here and there, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's just me huffing on some copium or something like that, dude. But yeah, price gouging for everything. MSRP? No, actually, we're gonna triple the price of that car because we think that's what it's worth. It's awful. Unions are why there are fire exits at your work and why the doors aren't padlocked during work hours. That's true. The amount of people that have died in factory fires because they were locked in. Oh man, even if it was one guy, how could you not understand that that's one far too many? Out of the frying pan, into the fire. I graduated from college 8 years ago. I was 28. I refused to go into debt for college, so I joined the military. I kept my grades up, and they took care of me. Hashtag cancel student debt is a slap in the face to many like me. Imagine thinking I had to enter into a situation where I potentially would have died, or maybe would have had to kill others so that I wouldn't go into crippling debt just for an education, is a good argument to maintain that system. Also, imagine thinking that other people have to suffer like you because it makes you feel better about what you had to go through. I understand that what you had to go through was crappy. No one should be forced to join a military complex at all. No one should be forced to do that or feel like they're forced to do that in order to afford education. And it's even worse when they get you so good that you think other people should be required to suffer at least as much as you did, okay? That's the big problem I have with previous generations and their outlook on the world. They want you to suffer like they did, or they think you're an entitled little bitch. And it's ridiculous, and we need to shut that shit down. Ugh. Or go homemade. You will still not afford it, but at least you're now now houseless in peace. Okay. Remember, friend, a $5 iced latte a day is $25 a week, $100 a month, $1,200 a year. After 10 years, that's $12,000, which is still nowhere near enough to put a down payment on a house, so enjoy your espresso in peace. Yeah, I look at numbers like this and realize that being a self-employed person without a 401k or a company that's actually able to provide like a match or anything like that, when I turn 62, I'm probably going to have like $50,000 to my name, which means I'll have maybe a good year of living before I die or have to go back to work. It's going to be something crazy. Nearly 1 in 5 workers are loud quitting at their jobs, a new Gallup poll says, and it's way more extreme than quiet quitting. Damn straight I'm loud quitting. I'm gonna be like that guy that hired like a high school marching band or a college marching band to show up and just blast his boss's face off when he handed in his letter of resignation. We need more of that. You're mistreated? Give it back. Not every job should have a living wage. That's not healthy for society. It's not healthy for someone making ice cream cones at Dairy Queen to make enough money to live off of. You want a society that actually can't live off these jobs. So, how are those working those jobs meant to live? And more importantly, how will I get ice cream at Dairy Queen when all of the people working for them died? I can't believe how short-sightedly stupid that tweet is. Not every job should have a living wage. Jobs that you demand. The fact that you mentioned making ice cream cones at Dairy Queen means you're probably a frequenter of Dairy Queen, whether it's you and the kids or maybe just you. There's nothing wrong with going to Dairy Queen on your own on a regular basis. I've done it before, okay? But a job, again, that you necessitate exists. And I'm just talking like you want ice cream, therefore you are necessitating that someone make you that ice cream. And they do. And you really want to look in the faces of these people and tell them they don't deserve to live. They have to work 40 other jobs. Or they simply just need to become a CEO. Lift yourself up by those bootstraps, bitch. How about that? It costs around $70 to produce a year's supply of insulin. Yet, the average annual cost of insulin went from $2,864 in 2012 to $5,705 in 2016 to $12,000 in 2022. That's a 17,000% markup. That isn't inflation. It isn't supply chain issues. It's 100% corporate greed. Yeah, it is. I found a software error at a company I work for that's costing them about $18 million a year. But I haven't told them that because they told me no when I asked for a raise. It's not like the raise would be very much, even if you did tell them and you saved them that nearly $20 million a year. All they would do on a good day, for real, is maybe give you like an 11% raise or something. Which no, if a single guy saved your company $20 million a year going forward, that's garbage. I'm talking, you're now paying me $200,000 a year. How about that? Because I'm still saving you $17 million a year. At least, man. Applying for tech support jobs, saw this, immediately thought of this sub. Okay. $16 to $20 an hour. Okay. Must have obtained an associate's degree in the following areas: computer science or information systems. Okay. An associate's degree, isn't that 2 years? Must be able to lift up to 50 pounds. All right. Must be available to work rotating shifts, overtime, off hours, holidays, weekends, and be on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Oh, and a driver's license. I like that they slot that in the middle there. I'm just going to skip over that and go to driver's license. No. That's not how it works. You're not going to pay me 16 measly ass dollars an hour to be on call forever. No. You know what? How about this? I'll take the job. I just won't have a phone because that's not part of the requirement, is it? I don't see a bullet point for having a working phone. Oopsie poopsie. Oh no. Everyone in a leadership role should read this. Leadership tactics and techniques. Let's see. Leadership versus management. The difference between the two. We refer to leaders as leaders and acknowledge that they have various management responsibilities. You lead people. You manage things. People are not machines, systems, or projects. Well, there are a lot of giant corporations that could absolutely use this advice. I'm just kidding. They literally know about this stuff. They know. They're not ignorant. See, crazy thing, they are run by pretty smart people. They know exactly how they can keep you down, okay? All while making you kind of feel like a person. But yeah, no, they call people managers for a reason. You are a thing to them. They don't give a shit about you. And no, I'm not talking about your little low-level manager that you're probably buddies with or something like that. I'm talking about the guys that run the shit. You know, there's that fine line. Jump above it, and we're in a pretty rough spot. Breaking. McDonald's workers in Oakland have walked off the job on strike. After our store was transferred to a new franchisee, our accrued paid sick leave was zeroed out. We weren't compensated or told. One worker was relying on the paid leave for a hernia surgery. Yeah, I remember working for a UPS store who was actually sold in the middle of me working there. The original owner used to give you raises every 6 months. It wasn't much. It was like 50 cents or something like that, just to kind of stay ahead of that slow creep. You know what I'm saying? Again, not much. I started at $8 an hour. Worked for the UPS store for like 5 years, and by the time I left, I was making 11. Woo! But she was nice. The new guy that took it over, though. Oh yeah, he got rid of that and actually walked back any of the money I made up until Colorado forced him to pay more. I worked open to close 6 days a goddamn week. Ugh, it was something, and let me tell you, screw that shit. Okay, the worst part is, I was pretty good at the job and didn't actually hate it. A bad manager can take a good staff and destroy it, causing the best employees to flee and the remainder to lose all motivation. When you get your leaders into those positions, you really got to make sure that they're going to be a good fit. I mean, everybody's got to have a probationary period, right? Can you handle the heat and treat people like people? That's what matters. How does this sub feel about remote work? LOL, my husband quit his job after being forced back into the office in 2021. He got a new job that was full remote, became the lead of their new product within 3 months, and is the most liked person at the company, and built our bike shed and 2 new decks during his lunch hours. Everyone I know with remote jobs have declined both mentally and physically. F you. Don't just lie. Don't just make shit up. And you know what? Even if that is true, that's a hell of a minority right there. I've never met anybody who works remotely who is significantly worse off. He meets his coworker who lives in our neighborhood for lunch. We go for bike rides and he runs several times a week midday. I also do remote contract work so we can easily switch back and forth with our kids' care tasks based on who has a meeting or time-sensitive work stuff. He can also take 10-minute naps when something is processing and he needs to wait and can wear his sweatpants if he wants to. This anti-remote propaganda is so silly. It is. I used to have regular day jobs for days, dude. And you know what? Ever since I started working here at EmKay, it's been the greatest experience of my life. Let me tell you, you guys are fantastic. I'm glad you accepted me. Sorry to get a little mushy here. All of you are great. Working with these people has been amazing. I get to live a portion of my dream, okay? It's fantastic. And I want everybody else out there, regardless of their job, if it's possible, to be able to do the same thing, okay? Sure, there are plenty of things that you can't do remotely, and I get it. There's also plenty of people like me who do not mind going somewhere to work. However, you should always have the choice if it's possible. If it is possible. Again, I used to work at Comcast as well. I think I've talked about it here before maybe 1 billion times the last 3 or so years. That job is 100% possible to do from home. But you want to know what? I think they let like 4 goddamn people do that because they, I don't know, sued or something. It's ridiculous. Save yourselves billions of dollars in rent, Comcast. Let people do it from their homes if they want. A Black Mirror episode in which you're forced to rent your labor to a predatory ownership class who then grant you tokens that you trade for basic necessities, including food and shelter. How the actual hell is this allowed? Indentured servitude. Nurses hit with hefty debt when trying to leave hospitals. Requiring nurses to repay for training programs has become increasingly common, with some hospitals sending $15,000 bills. Yeah, okay. Again, I'm sorry, I don't like bringing Comcast out all the time, but I did go through 3 months of training before being thrown onto the floor like I was a dead wet rat, all right? They talk about, and they flaunt it at you all the time, at least they used to, that the average person costs $18,000 to train. Because they also pay you more when you're trained. I was getting $18.30 an hour or so. And then once I was actually working, I went down to $12 and then had to work off of commission. Real cool, guys. Give someone a taste of actual hourly, real money, and then take it away and make them sell phones and shit. Okay. But yeah, they really throw that in your face to guilt trip you. There should be no way that they are allowed to send you bills for that, all right? Hiring people and training them, it's the name of the goddamn game. They don't get to go, well, actually, I'm a minor, and all my requests for my family vacation got denied. What should I do? Okay, so you're a minor. Let's take a look. They denied multiple requests. First request came within a 1 month's notice for only 4 days off. I see they all got denied, but I don't really know what they expect me to do. I'm a cashier and it's my whole extended family vacation that's already been paid for. Okay, edit. I was never planning on missing the vacation, of course. Screw them. Didn't really know if I should just take it and get fired, but it looks like that's probably the case. Excuse me. Okay, yeah, for real though. You are a minor working as a cashier, okay? Just think about it this way. As you said, fuck them. Really, especially if you're, I don't know, I would assume 16, 17, whether you're working at Target, Safeway, I don't know. But if it's one of your first jobs, what do they think you're going to be working there forever? You don't have like some permanent record or some crap. You don't need to list your first cashier job or something as a reference. Screw it. Quit. The way they treat us workers, we don't need to worry about them, okay? They'll be all right, and you will be better off for it. Let them know you're no longer requesting time off. You are informing them you will not be there those days. I agree. If they fire you, so be it. Go get another cashier job because you're young and can work the rest of your life. But a family vacation is a once-in-a-lifetime event. Exactly. There will always, even with the robots, be plenty of cashier jobs or things like that need doing that we could all jump into. You'll be all right. It's totally fine. Don't let them guilt trip you into not living parts of your youth, okay? Don't let them force you to waste it. I think we're asking for too little. 4 hours for work, 8 hours for rest, 12 hours for what we will. Yeah. You guys ever play BioShock Infinite? When you get to that specific level in the game where you're at the Fink manufacturing company, everyone's begging for jobs, and there's a giant clock that keeps track of sleep and leisure and work, and the leisure portion is like the smallest chunk of the clock. An experimental submarine with some of the richest people in the world disappears. Oh no! Anyway, sake, there's at least one person that doesn't deserve being mocked and treated like shit here in this case. 0 issues since I started doing this. Can you explain this gap in your resume? No, I signed an NDA. Yeah, what are they gonna do about that, right? 16 and 17-year-olds should not have their paycheck taxed because they can't vote. Taxation without representation. I never thought about that. I have a master's degree, 16 years of experience, work 2 extra jobs, and donate blood plasma to pay the bills. I'm a teacher in America. Oh, it's awesome. So cool. What's the biggest lesson that employment has taught you? Efficient workers got punished with more work. Yep, that's why so many people have taught themselves and trained themselves over the years to do literally the bare minimum to meet expectations. Because if you're a great worker, cool, you get to do a bunch more with nothing extra coming your way. Maybe people who meditate for an hour / day are happier because they live a life that affords them an hour / day to meditate. Yeah, that's how that's always worked. People that have crap tons of money and don't have to worry about anything at all in the world are the ones that think they're full of life lessons for you. Well, they have the money and time to do whatever they want and experience whatever they want. So of course they think they're smarter and more learned than yourself. I could die and my job would get a Ouija board and ask if I got someone to cover my shift. And they would have 0 problem with it. There would be 0 problem in anybody's minds doing something that freaky. It sounds outlandish, it sounds stupid, but I guarantee you someone would actually do it. Tell employees we can't afford to pay more. Brag about record profits. Literally every single company. I'm so done with this petty asinine bull. You guys are not allowed to be eating and or snacking for free if you're not upper management, which are general manager, DM, J, Jim, or ops. If I catch you eating my food, it will result in termination. There are no more call-outs or call-offs allowed without a doctor's note turned in after the 3rd call-off without an excuse note. It will result in termination. Oh no, I'm gonna get fired for fucking Carl's Jr. Oh no! It's not like I can't walk across the parking lot to McDonald's, get better pay, and not have to deal with your bullshit. No, I'm not saying McDonald's is good. They're terrible too, but I guarantee you I'm gonna be making more money working at McDonald's than working at this hole run by a jackass. Straight up. Bankers earn more than teachers and nurses, and I couldn't tell you a single thing a banker has done for me. But I can name a million things that teachers and nurses have done for me. Thank you for your encouragement, commitment, investment, involvement with driving sales and beating plan by $6 million. You're very appreciated. So I know for a fact the managers, bosses, whatever you want to call them, know exactly how awfully stupid this stuff is, how insulting it is, how degrading it is. I love that they do it with a fucking smile on their face. You know for a fact, inside their brain, they probably went, is this incredibly stupid and embarrassing? Yeah, it is. I don't give a shit. They gave me a bonus. I'm giving them a lifesaver mint. The bank says I can't afford a $1,200 mortgage, so I pay $2,000 in rent instead. And it doesn't go towards your credit. Wow! My employer is demanding my newborn's birth certificate, even though I didn't take paternity leave because my employer doesn't offer it. What? More than anything, I want to know why HR is hounding me for it. I took a week of paid vacation off for when he was born. I got a call a few days before I was going to take the time off from HR saying word got to her that I'm having a baby. She said I'm eligible for FMLA. FMLA. Oh. And she just needs my son's birth certificate. I said I wasn't planning on taking unpaid leave. Her response was, well, send it anyway. You never know. I've been back to work for 4 weeks now, and they're still hounding me for it. I'm starting to suspect my employer gets some sort of tax break if they categorize my paid vacation as leave. What gives? Oh, absolutely they do. They never, ever, ever do anything for your benefit. Remember, HR is not there to protect you, it's to protect the company from any kind of legal troubles or otherwise. HR ain't your friend. Pizza Shop is hiring just non-stupid people. Oh, that rules me out then. A lot of people we've hired just don't want to work. Maybe your place is a shithole? There's no work ethic behind them. So that's the meaning behind the non-stupid. The business said someone called in a fake order of over $100 in response to it. I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I will say it so many more times that it might even become a catchphrase of mine. If you can't afford to pay your employees a living wage, a wage that will allow them to live and work for you full-time, you do not deserve to be in business at all. You guys should get more labor protections from your government. When I moved from the USA to Germany, I eventually completely changed jobs to a rather large and well-funded German company. The kind of company in America that you'd say, ooh, they'll have good benefits. I asked them during the negotiation phase, so what are the other benefits? I didn't see them listed in my employment contract. I did not mean to read that like that. And they looked at me like I was an alien. They had no concept of what benefits were. I asked about healthcare, days off, sick leave, etc. And they told me, we just do what the current regulations enforce, which is unlimited sick leave, 30 days of vacation plus holidays, and we will pay for whatever healthcare insurance you have purchased. It was one of those moments where I really realized how much of a screwed up bubble the USA is. Yeah, I remember the realization too. Oh, it's so good. Leaving without giving 2 weeks' notice changes last check's hourly rate to minimum wage? You know what's funny? That doesn't seem legal at all. I do believe that is against the law. It might depend on the state you're in, but that can't be right. Absolutely not. Geez. $5 is extortion for a pay stub. Wait. All employees, exempt and non-exempt, will be charged $5 per page on the following requests. Are you allowed to charge for something you're legally required to give to your employees? I mean, sure, prior year's W-2s? What? Must be paid in cash and will not be deducted from paychecks. Oh, so you're also committing some kind of under-the-table tax fraud? I don't know about all that one, fellas. American, I have 2 jobs and still can't make rent. We need a living wage. GOP, living wage? Go to college. I can't afford tuition. Ask your parents. They're still in college debt. Get a job. I just told you I have 2. I'll be born rich next time. Yeah, stupid. Don't have any money? Why don't you just get more, moron? Handcuffed and jailed at 93 years old in Florida for not paying the rent at her independent living facility and refusing to leave once evicted. How do you have the heart to evict a 93-year-old woman out of her house and arrest her for not paying rent when she's too disabled to even work and can't make any money? Y'all really some heartless animals. Oh, that's putting it real lightly. I don't have much information on this story. This could be completely fake. You never know, right? But I totally believe it's real because here in America, stories like this, 99% of the time, they're completely true. I mean, hey, nearly 600,000 homeless people that we treat as animals. It's great. Of course a story like this would be real. So weird how nobody ever asks how we pay for the endless wars or the billions in tax breaks we give to the richest people on Earth. But the second someone mentions policies to vastly improve millions of lives, Grandpa breaks out the f***ing abacus. Of course he does. F*** you. He got his. That's the unfortunate part about that, dude. Sometimes your grandparents, that's their mindset, man. Sometimes it's a screw you, got mine situation, you know? And, when you get older, you don't feel like you have to give a about people anymore sometimes. A new Iowa bill would roll back child labor laws, allowing 14 to 17-year-olds to work in mining, meatpacking, demolition, operating guillotine shears, and other dangerous jobs. Under the business-backed bill, employers wouldn't be civilly liable if kids are injured or killed. We're literally going back over 100 years. We're just straight up winding the clock back. I'm starting to feel like CEOs and executives of companies, behind closed doors, they're wearing like 100-year-old suits, smoking giant cigars, wearing monocles, big-ass top hats. They just don't want us to see them for who they truly are. Fucking cartoon villains. That is straight up all these people are. No such thing as a good CEO, in my opinion, man. Bizarre study finds pizza motivates employees more than cash bonuses. Why money isn't all that great of a motivator, and why pizza is. Who wrote this? Who wrote it? Because I would like to find them and kick them so hard in the crotch that their ancestors feel it, dude. A nurse from Wyckoff Medical Center in Brooklyn. Oh boy, please don't call me a hero. I'm being martyred against my will. You are being martyred. Ain't that the truth? Good lord. A homeless man in New York City would regularly order an expensive dinner at a restaurant and refuse to pay for it to be sent to prison where he would receive 3 meals a day and a clean bed. He refused to commit more severe crimes to get longer sentences as he did not want to hurt anyone. Weirdfacts.org. Well, if this is indeed a fact, wow, it does get worse. Oh, imagine thinking your only option is to commit crimes so that you can be imprisoned so your life gets better. It obviously doesn't, or there wouldn't be so many protests around the world right now. Young laid-off workers need to know that shutting up has value. It's so funny, Mr. Gus Carlton, because you don't seem to understand that shutting up has value. So maybe you should take some of your own medicine and shut the f*** up. Sex work is real work, unlike being a landlord. Oh, dude, I have never met a single landlord that does anything they claim to do. Oh, I'm on call 24/7. No, the f*** you ain't. Shut up. You call your boss in the morning to say you will not be in due to not feeling well. Your boss wants to know specifically what's wrong with you. What do you say to make your boss instantly regret asking? Oh, dude. That's a really personal question. Can we keep this conversation professional? And if they push it, oh, my penis is bleeding. Did you want pictures as well? I wouldn't do that. They might be able to call that some form of sexual harassment. They'll do anything to not look like the asshole in the situation. Disney just announced that its theme park made $2.1 billion in profit in the last 3 months. Yet the company recently said their best offer for workers at Disney World, who are paid so little that some live out of their cars, was a $1 raise. 97% of workers voted to reject it. And that's at Disney World. Can you imagine living in Florida, which has, I'm pretty certain, a lower cost of living than where I live in the middle of the country, and you can't afford to live there because Disney pays so little. Now, at Disneyland, it makes more sense because they're living in Anaheim. That place is so expensive. But holy crap, Disney, not only are you ruining your freaking parks, but somehow you're making more money than ever off of them, and you're not sharing that at all. Who are you giving a lot of that money to? Oh, is it because you needed Iger back because Chapek was such a goddamn loser that he nearly bankrupted a certain side of your company? Okay, he didn't actually almost bankrupt anything. You can tell the Disney thing is very near and dear to my heart. Anyway, you Disney. Grad school's doing illegal stuff. From Twitter, from a friend. Dear Temple student, as a result of your participation in the TUGSA strike, your tuition remission has been removed for the spring semester. You now owe the full balance listed in TU Pay, which is due by Thursday. The full balance? If your balance is not paid in full by the due date, you will be assessed a $100 late payment fee, and a financial hold will be placed on your student account. This hold will prevent future registration. For your convenience, you can make the payment online by clicking here. We gotta start burning places down that do this type of crap. No billionaire has ever worked as hard as someone who needs 2 jobs to make rent and has to go home and take care of their kids and clean their own apartment. Not even close. Well, yeah, most billionaires, started pretty rich from birth. People almost never talk about how lifestyle creep, when you begin to make more money, is not so much spending on luxuries, but rather all the life maintenance things you couldn't tend to before that end up being really expensive, like dental work or car repairs. Dental work. Remember, they're luxury bones that should be expensive. I want to be rich means You want to get rid of the alarm clock. You want to leisurely spend time with people you love. You want to stop worrying about the rent or whether you can buy healthy food. You want to be able to help. You want to do more of what you love. Basically, you can take all of that and say you want to live life, because people enjoy working. There's nothing wrong with that. If you like working, dude, that's totally fair. Good on you. It gives you something to do, might help you get a sense of purpose, whatever. But humans are not meant to stock shelves at Walmart until they're 94 years old. We should be allowed to live life more than 3 weeks a year. Oh wait, here in the US it's 2 weeks a year, because that's really all you get. And no, I don't count the weekend days off, your 2 days off that you normally get over here, because that's worthless. It's worthless. CEOs are hugely expensive. Why not automate them? If a single role is as expensive as thousands of workers, it's surely the prime candidate for robot-induced redundancy. Yeah, they sure are useless. I mean, look at that CEO of Twitter. Oh no, wait, he's a genius. I received this email from my company today. They're holding a company picnic and we're expected to pay for all of it. How would you personally handle this? Wait, hold on. Our second annual company picnic will be held at blank amusement park. An amusement park? Tickets are $25 a person. There will also be a lunch meal that will be $12.72 per adult and $9.54 per child. Lunch meal will be blah, 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 blah. Why are they hosting a picnic in an amusement park? I mean, look, if this amusement park has more expensive tickets than what they're offering right here, then it could be a benefit, I guess? You know what I mean? Like, oh, tickets are $25 a person. We're hosting our picnic in Disneyland. Then yeah, dude, you're getting a deal, all right? But when these workers unionized, their cafe was put up for sale, so they bought it. Cafe workers, we're unionizing. Owner, oh, lol, then I'm selling the cafe. Proceeds to buy the cafe and turn it into a co-op. Oh, that's awesome. Genuinely surprised the owner was like, yeah, I'll let you guys buy it. I'm sure they made out pretty decently, but I mean, oh, can you imagine doing that though? Epic play. You know, epic play on everyone's part here. Bravo. Just bravo, dude. With exploding technology and increased worker productivity, it's time to move toward a 4-day work week with no loss of pay. Workers must benefit from technology, not just the CEOs. Well, yeah, here's my problem with the 4-day work week, though. And it's not that it's 4 days. My problem is that they're gonna go, oh, no loss of pay? No problem. Now your shifts are 10 plus hours. Cool. So on those 4 days, I get to live even less of my life. Sure, the 3-day weekend? Beautiful. But oh my God, brother in Christ, I'm so tired of this. Now, should I send this email after a bad screening call? Is it worth potentially losing an opportunity? I would like to respectfully withdraw my application following my negative experience speaking with your colleague Sandy. Sandy arrived late and unprepared. The bare minimum level of professionalism I expect from a recruiter is to respect my time and to have read my CV before the call. To then be asked whether I would accept 20,000 pounds less than the expected salary I set out, when all Sandy knew about my experience and expertise was the 30-second summary I'd just given her, was insulting. I found the entire tone of the conversation belittling and condescending and centered around pay, and it's left a sour taste in my mouth. I'm disappointed, as I applied because I'd heard good things about you as an employer. However, I don't think I can continue in this process with a company that has made me feel so undervalued at the very first interaction. Haha! Thanks a lot, Sandy. A woman makes $80,000 selling nudes on OnlyFans to pay for cancer treatment. Yeah, we'll just leave this image up on screen for the next, 10 hours just so you can read it again and again and again. It really sums things up quite nicely.
10 hours later.
Next level micromanagement. As stated in the job description, we require an IP camera setup to provide a live video and audio feed of your workplace during the shift timings. Are you comfortable with this setting? No. You can take that and shove it up your ass. No, you can print this particular question out, roll it up, and just shove it right up there. Absolutely not. I was in an accident due to California blizzard. Oh right, stranded overnight in the snow, no cell service, my boss's response. Oh boy. Are you okay? Was another vehicle involved? Where are you currently? Yeah, I'm okay now. There was a car under a tree with a semi parked in front of it. I slid on the black ice into the semi and ended up with my car resting on the guardrail. Well, gosh. Glad you're okay and sorry about that. Did you have to seek medical care? If you're okay now, how come you didn't report to work or blah, blah, blah? Oh, guess what? I quit. 6 signs you'll be a billionaire. You grew up rich. you have sociopathic tendencies, you only care about yourself, you love exploiting workers, you're great at union busting, and you receive government subsidies. So I and a few others on the schedule are being punished for something we weren't even on site for. Is this wage theft? A $5 off register for yesterday. I think it's time to take all bonuses off the table until this store can learn to balance registers. Yeah, if you weren't there, no, that is wage theft. And I guarantee you nothing was wrong with the registers, but I mean, what are you going to do? Call them out on it? World's largest 4-day workweek trial finds few are going back. And about 1 in 6 employees in the study said no amount of money would convince them to return to 5 days a week. Even puppers get it. What has your pet accidentally conditioned you to do? One of my dogs has several barks. A play bark and a squirrel bark and other dog things that are normal dog barks. He also has what we call his emergency bark. The emergency bark is what he does when he thinks there is serious danger. It's extremely loud and makes us jump every time. He usually reserves it for things like the time I fell down the stairs and he scream barked for my husband to help, or when someone's in our front yard, or when he cornered a possum in the backyard. However, since my husband started working from home, the dog barks his emergency bark at my husband if he tries working past 4 p.m. My husband has now learned to stop working at about 3:50 every day to avoid that jarring sound. No paid sick leave for you railroad workers either. Meet the CEO of Norfolk Southern, Alan Shaw. His net worth is at least $11 million. He lives in an 8,000 square foot mansion. He poisoned a small town for profit. Let's make him famous. Oh, CEOs. Start sharpening them guillotines, boys! For legal reasons, the joke I just made is indeed a joke, whether or not you find it funny. So, no, I'm not actually calling for, well, I mean, come on, think about it seriously. Inflation will remain sticky for a decade, and Gen Z and millennials are to blame, an investment chief says. Hey, Gen Z, welcome to the blame game. We're still on the board. The millennials are still on the board here, but look, we're gonna slip off here pretty soon, and then they're just gonna start blaming solely you, okay? That's what the boomers do. And yeah, the boomers are still around. Gen X is turning into them, though, completely. Gen X is completely turning into just as bad boomers. And it sucks. So we'll truly never be rid of them. A 10-day general strike would accomplish more for the working class majority than a century's worth of elections. It would represent an immediate momentum shift by bringing the capitalist behemoth to its knees. Our true power is in our collective labor, not in a voting booth. Interesting list for minimum wage pay and outdoor labor. If you answer yes to any of the following statements, please don't contact us. You're grumpy in the morning. Your favorite place is under the covers in your mom's basement. You're afraid of heights. Don't try to fool us on this. We will know right away. You're a victim, a whiner, or complainer. You smoke at work, you do drugs, or you drink heavily. Okay? You look like a tattoo parlor experiment gone wrong. You can't lift heavy stuff without sustaining a back injury. I love that. I love that one in particular because they had an employee that nearly broke their f***ing back, and they just got so pissed off that someone would have the audacity to get injured, right? Or you're a wuss when it gets too cold or too hot out. I hope these people go out of business. Guys, help! I told an employee he sucks, and now he says we aren't BFFs anymore. How to handle distant employee after performance review. So, I recently gave a poor performance review to an employee, and he's since working much faster. We started a deadline and daily check-in system. Did you start paying more? But has become much more distant. He always eats with the team, but now claims he has to go somewhere on his lunch break. He usually suggests coffee with me in the morning and has abruptly stopped. It seems like he's avoiding me and sitting as far away as possible from me in the office. He's also stopped abruptly dressing up for work. It's not compulsory, but he's usually coming to the office in a suit. When I talk to him, he's still polite, however. How would you handle this? I'd stop being such a little bitch. They want a cashier who's a college graduate, has a diploma, transcript of records from the university, 20 to 30 years old, minimum of 5'2", and the salary to be minimum wage. For a cashier job? For a cashier job. Dude, when I worked for Target, they force-trained me as a cashier, even though that wasn't my main job, and it took them 10 minutes. 10 minutes of training to be a cashier. Dude, you have got to be completely f***ing with me right now. There's no way in hell. Oh, and minimum wage too? No, if you're wanting all these qualifications, including how I physically f***ing look, yeah. You know what? How about $50 an hour, bitch? How do you feel about someone who does the bare minimum? Oh, you mean their job? Sit down. We need to talk to you about quiet quitting. Yeah, that's great. I love the bare minimum. So wait, I'm doing my job exactly as you trained me to do, exactly as I was hired to do, and you need me to do more. Okay, then we're gonna change the job title, we're gonna upgrade the pay, we're gonna move things around a little bit, and then I'll do more. I will do what is required. Suck it. Just had a call with someone on Forbes 30 Under 30 list and came away really impressed. He shared with me how he made VP at a top tech company before 30. All right. 4:30 a.m. wake up, cold showers, gratitude journal, meditate, dad owns the tech company. You know what's great? This tweet is fantastic, by the way. If you want to see someone put their money where their mouth is, you should go watch Curtis Connor's video about how he lived like a billionaire for an entire week. Yeah, it's bullshit, but you should watch it. I'm the only customer service rep scheduled today for a $20 billion company. Oh yeah, I've seen this one before. I wouldn't be doing anything. Then if I did decide to take any calls, I'm taking my sweet in time, dude. The great resignation is now the great regret. 80% of job hoppers wish they hadn't quit their old roles, with Gen Z the most regretful. Liar. You are lying. That is not true. Good God. Minnesota House passes paid sick and safe time bill for all workers. I employ 4 people full-time. How am I supposed to run my business if one of them takes advantage of 24 weeks paid leave, and I'm required to hold their position during that time? What if 2 of them take advantage of this leave at the same time? What? Oh my God, I can't do it here, man. Sometimes I forget that Elon Musk has always been a privileged rich kid, and Elon Musk's daddy owned an emerald mine, and Elon Musk walked around with jewels in his pockets, and Elon Musk didn't start Tesla, he just ousted the founders, and Elon Musk has never invented anything. Sometimes. Boss is tired of all the complaining. Good morning, ladies. So I've been hearing a lot of complaining lately. Let me make this very clear. If you have a problem with the wage you get paid, please feel free to have a discussion with me. The wage you all receive is fair, wrong, especially when it comes to house parties, etc. If you have a problem with me and I hear anyone speak about me negatively, this will result in loss of shifts and/or job. Wow, you're admitting to cutting people's shifts. I see a lot of you just say, I'll fire you, but I've never seen someone say that I'll quiet fire you. That's what we should start calling it. I've heard so much crap being said about other staff members and myself. I will absolutely not put up with this going into busy season. It stops now, or find another job. I don't know what these ladies do for a living. I don't know what I don't know what this is, what the job is, but I feel like there's a lot better out there for them. Told my boss I quit, and he's not going to pay me? You can't just not pay me because I didn't show up. That's illegal. You've lost and damaged more than you've earned. Oh, this is where he's going to make stuff up. Do the math. I said you're just as responsible for ensuring nothing happens to property, and Zach has no issues paying $200 of the charges. I'm charging you $60. Then my $125. And the damages you and David cause are going to be split. After all that, blah, 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 blah. Thanks for it in writing. Yes, I can. It's not illegal, and I told y'all when you started, if you don't show up, I'll charge y'all what they charge me. You're welcome. Thank you, too. Labor laws, bro. Dude's gonna be in trouble. Gen Z's not lazy. They're just refusing to put up with the toxic work culture that boomers created. Yeah, and they're gonna be the really successful ones. The millennials have been trying for a while, not as successfully as we would have hoped. But Gen Z, I got hope for them, man. They don't take shit. The rising economic tide. Profits are up. My compensation has doubled. Look at me, I'm walking on water. Wages are flat. My buying power is shrinking. I'm not even treading water. Yeah, they are intentionally drowning you. It works. 92% of companies keep it. Burnout down by 71%. Sick days down by 65%. Revenue up 1.4% on average. No question about it, the UK's 4-day week trial was a huge success. It's time for the 4-day week to go mainstream. Good luck with that over here. Employers think that their employees, again, are subhuman. It's just a lot of that attitude going around. The upward redistribution of wealth over the past 40 years has shifted $50 trillion from the bottom 90% to the top 1%. That's $50 trillion that would have gone into the paychecks of working Americans. The greatest trick of all is trickle-down economics. Who conceptualized trickle-down economics, I wonder? Whose idea was that? It's that easy to be a billionaire in the USA. Finland ended homelessness. They provide a small apartment and counseling with no preconditions. 4 out of 5 make their way back into a stable life, and guess what? It was cheaper than allowing homelessness to continue. Good luck trying to be a billionaire over there. I'm pretty sure they have at least one. I was literally in Finland this Christmas, this a couple months ago, right? I was there, and I thought that this little factoid was overstating things. I thought, oh, really, they got rid of all homeless? I doubt it. I went to several cities in Finland, and not a single mother on the street getting glares from random people because they don't have a place to live. Not a single one. I was blown away. Utterly insane. So cool to see. Good on you, Finland. Activision just announced the removal of work-from-home options and is denying applications for working from home permanently to people with disabilities. Mass walkouts ensued, as they should. Oh, Activision, you are such a company. Thank you for reaching out. As mentioned on today's town hall, Activision is requiring employees to return to office, beginning April 10th, 2023. Our working model for Activision QA in El Segundo, Austin, and Minneapolis requires employees to be in the office 3 days a week and work remotely 2 days a week. Why do they want that so badly? The expectation is for employees to be within a reasonable commute to the office they were hired for. As a result, there are no permanent remote work opportunities within QA. And it's within QA too? Good lord, whatever, dude. Guess who no longer works at home? Got pulled into a meeting today with my boss and was informed that I'll be required to come back to the site permanently, even though I was hired as a work-from-home agent. She asked if I had any problems with that, so I told her I don't have a car and I live 30 miles away. Her response was to say the company's not required to take into account your transportation needs. Then she just hung up. I don't know what I'm going to do. I know what I would do. Instantaneously quit. They don't even deserve notice. To be fair, most companies absolutely don't deserve notice, but holy crap. And yes, I know that just quitting your job on a whim is not a luxury that most people have, but what's the alternative here? He literally can't continue the job. Because I can't decompress at home? You need to detach and psychologically recover from work, professors say. The solution? Commuting. Yeah. For most American workers who commute, the trip to and from the office takes nearly 1 full hour a day. 26 minutes each way on average, with 7.7% of workers spending 2 hours or more on the road. Many people think of commuting as a chore and a waste of time. Yeah, because it is, and it's super expensive. It doesn't matter how long the commute is. It takes more of your energy, more time out of your freaking life. You don't get paid for your commute, which you should be, especially if it's that long. They're so stupid. Being unemployed, having a job. I love the modern era. We'll be 4 horsemen deep into the apocalypse and still going to work. Boss, why were you late? Me, a lake of fire swallowed the freeway. I feel like you're not considering how this affects the team. You're right. I don't care about the team. Nobody wants to work anymore. Personally, I've never wanted to work. Yeah, I do hate the anymore part of that. Nobody wants to work. Okay, well, to be fair, some of us do. We just don't want to work until we're dead? I've been reading a lot about how desperate employers are to get employees back in the office and how cities are desperate for return to office because otherwise downtowns will die. And the problem is, I have yet to read an explanation of why that is the workers' problem to fix. It's not. We know it's not. They like to put everything on our shoulders. It's the only way they survive. That's what happens when people can't afford to get married in the traditional way. David's Bridal laying off over 9,000 workers. Yeah. What is the average wedding cost in the United States? I don't know how close this is, but according to some study, couples who invited 50 or fewer guests spent an average of $14,000 on their wedding. Those are the small ones, guys. Wow. A man has applied to the job advertisement welder, $15 to $30 an hour. During the welding test, he made 2 test welds shown on the pictures. The potential boss asked, "What's going on?" The man replies, "The upper one is $15 an hour. The lower one is $30. Yeah, if you have the skills to pay the bills, make sure whoever's actually paying you to pay the bills is doing it appropriately, all right? You want to pay me not enough to live? Then I'm going to make sure your welds suck ass, dude. That's all there is to it. We're returning to the office because our culture is so important. The culture, soulless, beige, tan, peach, whatever the hell, office cubicles. I think the worst part is, I've worked in an office like this, except we didn't have the luxury of our cubicles actually belonging to, like, us. It was completely open. You didn't get your own. I grow coffee. I refine coffee. I package coffee. I brew coffee. I literally collect money for doing nothing. Oh, yeah, but They're the genius that came up with the idea of doing this. How it feels to be alive lately. That'll be $70. Okay. Yeah, and some people out there are trying to defund and get rid of libraries. Teenagers are being banned from malls. What the f*** are we supposed to do? Thank you for that. But on Friday, I only have 3 hours recorded. I understand you sent me home that day, but per section 22.6 of our contract, employees are to be paid for a full day if they're sent home. Yeah, and I bet he got real pissy over that too. They told me hard work pays off. And here I am, 2 years at this job, making 50 cents over minimum, with no raise, no benefits, living paycheck to paycheck, working myself to the bone, literally, and going home tired and in pain every day. Then you need to quit. If you're working something that makes your hands look like this and you're only making 50 cents over minimum wage and you don't get any benefits whatsoever, go work at McDonald's or Walmart for a little while until we bust this down. Wow. Don't need a job that bad. Unreal. Governor of Arkansas, who gives a rat's ass, is now requiring applicants for positions in the state to write 500-word essays that detail what they admire from her leadership. This is not North Korea. This is not parody. Which word would you use to describe Sanders? I wouldn't use any words to describe somebody that I don't respect. And you know what? Didn't she and her, what would you call it, administration also just repeal a bunch of child labor laws? You creepy garden gnome. Oh, there you go. Garden gnome. It's not one word, it's a couple, but still. Hot take. We should raise the minimum wage to $17.76 an hour, then rename it Patriot Pay. Force them to say they're against Patriot Pay, huh? French refuse, that's the word. Collectors have now been on strike for 18 days after their government raised the pension age from 62 to 64. Whether you agree or not, they're not going to let their government walk over them. You know, I'm wondering something. This seems to have been going on a while. Has this been settled yet? Because I see crazy protests in France. You know, the French are the best at this. And yet, I still see news headlines saying that they sent this age increase through anyway. Where the f*** do they get off? Do the French have to bring out the guillotines again? This needs to happen everywhere. Normalize letting people eat their lunch alone if they want and decompressing for 30 minutes to an hour without the pressure of being considered antisocial in the workplace. Yeah, I'm really tired of work friend culture. If you don't talk all the time, you're weird and antisocial, and that's aggressive. But if you do talk all the time, like I do, you're f***ing weird and I don't like you because you never stop talking. The f*** do you want? Memo to the media. Please don't say inflation is at a 40-year high without also mentioning that corporate profits are at a 70-year high. Give the people the full picture. McDonald's last week asked corporate employees who usually work from the office at least 3 days a week to do the job from home. The plan was to lay off hundreds of employees, and the company preferred to deliver that news virtually. Of course it did. A coworker's last day was Friday. He didn't retire, just decided to take a month off and find another job after. I should record the morning meeting and send it to you so you don't feel left out. Please do. Well, we got tacos at least. Millennials say it's inappropriate to have a work wife, but most Gen Zers and boomers are cool with it, poll finds. Yeah, I personally didn't have one, but all my buddies that worked at Comcast did. You need that buddy. You have to have a buddy. When the rich rob the poor, it's called business. When the poor fight back, it's called violence. They're trying to get you to fight a culture war so they can hide the class war. They're doing it pretty well, jackasses. $15 an hour is poverty. And I think we need to say that loudly because right now companies use it as a badge of honor. The biggest price gouger ever could definitely pay more than $18. Today, thousands of Disney World workers voted to approve a new contract, delivering an $18 minimum wage this year and raises across the board, plus 8 weeks of paid family leave. Out of over 12,500 workers who participated in the vote, 97% voted yes. It's something. It's something. Because this is Disney World. I know Orlando's definitely more expensive than surrounding areas for sure. 18 still ain't enough, but at least, 8 weeks of paid family leave? That's something. It's not great at all, but you know what? They can do this again next year. Just keep on keeping on, man. As long as they're making billions of dollars off of tourism, you guys should be paid appropriately. At this job, you'll get to work at a fast-paced environment. You'll get to thrive under pressure and be part of a dynamic team. Great. Now that you've outlined the cons, what are the pros? No, really, I'm really tired of employers and recruiters spinning this as a good thing. You'll get to feel like all the time and be stressed out every second you're here, and I'm gonna make sure I could barely pay you. Protect our kids, like making sure they're not hungry. Okay, let's have free school lunches then. Legalize child labor! What the fuck is going on? Damn, I'm kinda tired of living inside a giant pyramid scheme controlled by criminals who gaslight us into believing they're the good guys. Why is it easier to believe that 150 million Americans are being lazy rather than 400 Americans are being greedy? Employer, you'll need to give us 1 month notice when you leave. Me? Nah, you'll notice when I'm not there. Yeah, I don't like that they require that or they'll mark you non-rehirable, but they can fire you at the drop of a hat at any moment without warning or telling you what you did. Is the remote work really working? I'm not so sure. Where were you zooming from yesterday when you were on CNBC? We all know where. I work for a company in California that does a lot of outreach in Spanish. Recently, bilingual employees pointed out this results in them doing more work than their monolingual coworkers, and they requested additional pay. This was the reply-all response to HR's email denying that request. Hello, will this mean we'll be outsourcing for any projects that need to be completed in Spanish? What? I know my girlfriend, the Finnish one that I talk about all the time, is a bilingual, customer service agent over the phone. She doesn't get paid really any more at all. Does a lot more work though, and sometimes she has to work the English line by herself. Awesome. The retirement age is 67. Your life expectancy is 78. Work for 50 years to be free for 11? Does that sound like a fair deal? Of course it's not. They don't give a f***. Resigned my position at a job and got this email in response. Department of Labor said this was illegal. Now, if they don't pay up soon, I'm owed double my wages. Know your rights. Oh yeah, this. They can't do this. Per the terms outlined in the employee handbook, blah, 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 paycheck will be issued at minimum wage. Illegal. Paycheck withholdings. None of that makes any sense. Charge for cell phone locker key if not returned. Nah, bro. Give me all the money I am owed. Nice try. If you work 40 hours a week and can't afford a 2-bedroom apartment, what the f*** is the point of working? Companies like Amazon and Walmart, who pay their employees dirt cheap wages while raking in billions in profits, deserve to have employee shortages. They do. What are we gonna do? It's wild that unskilled labor is the labor that society literally collapses without. It's funny how that works, huh? Let's undersell how important it is by calling it unskilled. Of course no one wants to work. There's no reward for living in society anymore. Wow, you mean I can work 2 jobs where my bosses treat me like a machine and the customers treat me like a verbal punching bag so I can make rent in my overpriced suburban duplex and then never have free time again? Ever? Golly, Uncle Sam, I'm not sure I like your freedom very much. Universal basic income. UBI critics. If we give people money without conditions, people will stop working. The UBI pilot. Turns out the UBI group worked more than the control group. Well, of course giving people more money works, but it costs too much. Turns out the money spent on UBI reduced other costs greater than the UBI. Yeah, but people will stop working. But Brondo's got what plants crave. It's got electrolytes. I'm literally throwing up at work with a fever, pale as a ghost, and already passed out. Boss says I just don't want to work. As the title says, I'm sick. Have been all week. I'll get fired if I don't show up for my scheduled shifts, and my boss is actually going to try and force me to work for more hours this week too, because I dared to take off a day for being sick as a dog. I don't need to know the rest of this at all. Your boss should definitely be let go. Of course he won't, because that's just not how this works. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, yeah, you've got 2 sick days out of the year, so if you're sick anytime outside of that, I will kill you. That's essentially what we're gonna get you. Man, the retaliation is real across the board. It's bullshit. Let's just scribble that out. Paid vacation. Yay! If I saw that, that would be the first thing I asked them about during an interview. You're hiring today? No, the f*** you're not. Sorry, you need to work. I won't be showing up. I'm sick. I gave as much notice as I possibly could. Sorry. Sorry, as I said, there's no one to cover the shift. That's not my problem. I will not be showing up. I'm sick, and I gave notice when I could. No, Rachel, it's your job. You need to work. See you at 2. I don't think Deb quite understands that she doesn't actually literally control this person. She does not have some magical powers that will actually force them to come in. So, no, your little dominatrix roleplay bit that you're doing here will not work, Deb. Good luck with that, pal. As a manager who runs the schedule, it is your job to find people to cover shifts. Sure, the employees can do it, and that's totally fine if they want to, but if they don't, that's not in their job description. Isn't that crazy? And it will continue to cost us billions until corporations understand it. I have an escape door. Younger workers say they need more than a good salary to give their loyalty, flexibility, and service, and it's already costing the U.S. economy billions. Oh no! Managers didn't post schedule until 40 minutes before our scheduled shifts. What? Is the schedule going to be posted soon? I'm sorry, but I can't come in today. The schedule was posted just now, and I've already got my day going. Guys, I understand the schedule was just posted, but it's the same day. I can't read. But it's the same schedule for most of you who work Sundays. Please make sure to check and make it into work. Thank you. No, it's not their responsibility. You waited until the 11th hour to post the schedules, and you're going to get pissy at them for not being able to show up? Oh, cry about it. Super rich hate taxes. I'm shocked. Super rich abandoning Norway at record rate as wealth tax rises slightly. Oh no! It's something they could easily f***ing afford with no goddamn issue. My father-in-law's resignation email from 2002. On account of because I have a problem with my eyes. I can't see working there anymore. Cheers. The grind grinding me to the ground. Me showing up to my evening job after 10 hours of my day job. I'm never doing that again. Dubai is where sad rich people go. Happy rich people go to places like Hawaii and surf. Where do sad poor people go? To work. People in the 1920s. I lost my house, my job, and all my savings. I'm ruined. People in the 2020s. I never had any of those. Recently posted at work. You're not paid to think. A mindless worker is a happy worker. Shut up and do your job. I think a disgruntled employee threw this up. I totally would have. Home is our real life. You are totally replaceable at work. You're not replaceable at home. Home is your real life. Keep that perspective always. And don't believe anybody that tries to tell you otherwise. Comcast, Walmart, Target, McDonald's, they don't own you. It may seem like it, but they don't. And if your managers try to tell you otherwise, honestly, just eat them. Eat them right there. Effective immediately to the manager at Gringo's, I'm a quitter. You know what? I love fantastic quitting stories, and my favorite quitting, well, not really story, ever, was a guy who quit working at a hotel and he hired a line band to come in and then threw the letter in his manager's face. When you've been at work 9 hours and see dogs on Instagram with 2 million followers who generate more income than you, oh god, you can't do that, man. What do I need? I have to have a bachelor's degree, and I will be making $9 an hour. Cool. Why don't you take away the salary entirely and just shoot me? I have to work an hour before I can afford to buy 3 of these. I make 3,000 of them every hour. Dude. Sorry, due to staffing shortages, the pumpkin decorating department, PDD, has been dispatched to another decorating unit. Damn it! LMAO! This can't be legal. To all the staff that work this Saturday, October 29th, I know there are a bunch of Halloween parties going on this weekend. If you do not show up for your shift or call in, I will take this as you are quitting your job here. A lot of jobs immediately fire you for a no-call, no-show. A lot of them will give you a couple of times you can do that, but it's kind of rare. This company claims to care about people. Their choice of toilet paper determines that was a lie. Ooh, right. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Wish there was a law against making you explain any gaps in unemployment. Like, why can't you just not want to work for a bit? Christ. I don't know why it would be any of their business anyway, to be perfectly fair. And no, I don't need you guys to justify multi-billion-dollar corporations and their decisions, because they're all bad. As a cure for worrying, hard work is better than whiskey. Hard work on something you love, sure. Bus drivers in Japan went on strike, but continued to drive their routes while refusing to take fares from passengers. So keeping Japan on time, but costing the bus companies gas on top of lost revenue. They were paying a lot to keep that running. That's a fun strike. A must-do option. Earn more money. Whoa, that's crazy. No matter what your student loan situation is, every borrower should focus on earning more money. But this is especially true if you can't afford your private student loans. The fact is, there are 168 hours in each week. You might work 40 to 50 hours at your day job. You sleep 7 hours a night, so a total of 49 hours each week. For simplicity, let's call that 100 hours. What are you doing with the remaining 68 hours each week? Oh, right! Shoot! If I want the right to go to college for any reason, I should be willing to damn near kill myself to pay back a loan. Right, this system totally works. How it feels working under capitalism? Yeah, except worse. Imagine if this behavior was normalized. Think the corpos would start to get the message? Dear all, as of today, I'm resigning from my job as the dual front office manager. Unfortunately, this company turned out to be way below my expectations. I got to meet good people though. I wish the good people the best in their endeavors. Sincerely? I can't read. Sincerely, dual front office manager. Boss, why aren't you working? Me? I didn't see you coming. Yeah, honestly, man. I got an "I emailed you 3 days ago" message this morning. Friday afternoon at 4:47, this person emailed me. They followed up at 8:15 this morning. 28 minutes. They emailed me 28 working minutes ago. Bye. Something really messed up happened to me at work. What do you think about this? The big box store I work at's been doing really well, meeting our sales goals lately, so management decided to throw a pizza party. Yeah, I know. When we get there, it was generic pizza from Little Caesars, and there was a 2-slice limit, and some dollar store soda that ran out almost instantly. I got my paycheck for that week. They took out $8 per person for the party. I could have gotten a whole pizza for that money. No, yeah, that is pretty disgusting. They got you the cheapest, crappiest stuff, limited you, and they took enough money for you to have gotten yourself an entire pizza and a soda. You could have gone to Little Caesars, gotten a full one for yourself, and a soda, dude. God damn, that's pathetic. My last job sent me my check exactly 6 months later, so it'd be void and I couldn't cash it. Get a lawyer involved. They're not allowed to do this shit. I converted a school bus into a wood shop so I can travel and sell my wares. I don't want to be stuck in a dead-end job anymore and never see anything. Honestly, that's a pretty sick endeavor. I hope it works out great for you. And the wares? They look pretty sick. I'd buy them. Let's normalize not confusing someone's free time with their availability. Yeah, just because I have nothing to do right now does not mean I owe you my time. I'm chillin'. Let me be. Your job title is temporary. How you treat others, that is what will be remembered. No, I don't think I'm gonna be remembered at all. Teen Vogue's out there educating. For example, if you ask for a raise by yourself and your company doesn't want to give it to you, your boss might be completely within their rights to fire you. Seems bad, right? However, if you and even just one other coworker unite and go to the boss to ask for a raise together, legally the boss can't retaliate against you. That becomes protected concerted activity under the National Labor Relations Act. I would really enjoy it if someone could confirm this for real. Individually, we beg. United, we bargain. Arkansas waitress was fired for not sharing her $4,400 tip with the coworkers. Owner wanted a cut also. She said pooling tips never happened in the 3 years she worked there. She's made nearly $10,000 on GoFundMe since being fired. Wow, I'm sorry, but you as the owner of the restaurant don't get to run your business based off of tips, pay them a lower wage in general, and then when someone pays them a ton of money in their tip, it's not yours. You don't get any of it, and I'm sorry to say, none of the other coworkers get any of it. The owner especially though, okay? She could share it with the other, workers if she wants to, whatever, that's fine, I don't give a shit. But the owner can get fucked. Absolutely not your fucking money. This guy told his job he didn't want a birthday party because of his anxiety. They threw him one anyways. He had a panic attack. They fired him for his behavior. He sued, and now they owe him $450 grand. Hopefully they have to actually pay that. Who's the boss now? Hey, where you at? What? You told Mark you could work the night shift tonight. No, I did not. I told Mark I couldn't work Monday. I told him you couldn't work in the morning, but you could work normal hours. As you know, I found out yesterday that my dad passed away. I'm gonna go ahead and at least take the one day I get a week off to mourn his death. I'm so sorry for any inconvenience this will have caused you. My uncle died a few days ago. I lost my grandpa. Stop being a victim. Mail me my check. I quit. And go f*** yourself. No. Don't ever have them mail the check. You go fucking get that check. Because I've got a sneaky suspicion they'll forget as long as they possibly can. Kinda like that check that got mailed 6 months far too late that we looked at earlier. If you like working for money, piss off. Oh boy. We've decided it's time to expand the Valley Nutrition in Apple Valley. We aren't looking for just anyone. You need to be self-motivated but coachable, ambitious and friendly. Have a positive attitude and a true desire to help people. We're also looking for someone to work with us, not for us. That being said, a strong desire to own your own business or manage a space is desired. If you're just looking for a paycheck, this probably isn't the adventure for you. You're f***ing right. Bye. He took off his clothes to prove a valuable point. In Mexico, a member of parliament removed all of his clothes in parliament during the debate. You're ashamed to see me naked, but you're not ashamed to see your people in the streets naked, barefoot, desperate, jobless, and hungry after you've stolen all their money and wealth. Hopefully the message came across, but only if you're willing to be a Pepsi family. A Pepsi family, LMFAO. My father worked for your bottling company for 25 plus years. You fired him after denying to extend his leave while he was undergoing chemo. I guess to avoid paying out insurance? He died a few months later. F you and Pepsi families. Pizza party, but employees will pitch in on the cost. You read that right. Engineering manager wants to have a pizza party so people can connect. But wait, he wants us to pitch in on the total cost. Oh, it's scheduled for a Friday too, in case you were wondering. Laugh out loud with me, would you? Hope they don't expect me to attend. I'm not pitching in and I'm not going to attend. I quit my teaching job and now make more bartending for 15 less hours per week. Also, I get blamed for way less and get told thank you way more. No lesson plans or grading papers. Dude, bartending is an amazing gig. You can pull down 6 figures bartending, dude. This is in the employee handbook at my new job. Wage confidentiality, illegal. All wage and salary information is personal and confidential. No, it's not. Wage ranges and salaries for each job are reviewed and compared at regular. No, they're not. And yes, I will talk about my salary, and I will ask about other salaries. You wanna know why? Because it keeps you fuckers honest. I like working. What upsets me so much about our current circumstance is that I genuinely like to work, just not for an unlivable wage in a place that takes away most of my time. Work gets me out of the house, around new people, and gives me purpose, but that's quickly undercut by the notion that my purpose has become lining some CEOs' pockets. That's not even mentioning that a lot of jobs tend to be dangerous, and I'm not going to cut my life short for somebody else's profit. I'm really frustrated, and I hope I'm not alone in this. No, you're not. I feel the exact same goddamn way. Not in my current situation, but dude, I felt it for really all of my adult life minus the past couple of years. Reminder that New York City pay transparency law goes into effect on November 1st. This means companies must share the salary for all job openings, including internal transfers and promotions. Oh yeah! Haha! A guy on our site died yesterday. I work in tech and was just told to grab his computer and save his files. Makes you think. He worked his ass off for this place and didn't even get a weekend. Just dead between weekdays. Do the things you want to do now before you can't. People nowadays, after income tax got doubled, gas prices are record high, and inflation skyrockets, I lived through worse. People who, 2 centuries ago, when tax on tea got a few % higher as a way to repay for war support, I am the first raider and bloodshed shall have no end. We're getting there, man. Hiring manager who interviewed you. Kit does not include feedback, salary range, compensation for completed project. I love that they're just not allowed to tell you why they didn't hire you. I mean, they are, but they refuse to. Like, I remember a friend of mine, I tried to get him a job at Comcast, which I'm glad that didn't work out, but I tried, and he interviewed maybe 4 separate times, got through all 3 interviews that day every time, and was never called back ever again. Ever. And I tried so fucking hard to figure out what the hell was going on, and they just said, nah, it's policy, we can't tell them. I worked at Subway in high school, and a customer demanded to speak to a manager because her $5 footlong was not exactly $5. I tried explaining to her that sales tax is normal, and $5.35 is the price of anything after tax. She continued to yell and cuss at me. She even specifically stated she does not have to pay a tax. It was at that moment I accepted that there was no being rational with some people. Oh yeah, there are some people out there that are too deficient to live, or at least function properly. And if you're one of those people like that, maybe don't go to Subway, you know what I'm saying? My boss deactivated my coworker's email who just quit too quickly and didn't realize it controls our company calendar, so now all of those events for the next 3 years are gone. What a dumbass. Never really could, but this hits harder these days. We can't afford to shop at any store that has a philosophy. I feel that. Millennials are causing a baby bust. They're not having enough kids to keep the US population at the replacement level. That's because rent is $1,500 and jobs are paying $12 an hour. Yeah, what the f*** you want us to do? People ask what you do for a living so they can calculate the level of respect to give you. I don't know for a fact if Donnie Yen actually said this or not, but if he did, yeah. I need to know why you're not at work. No, you don't. I missed work today, just because I felt like it, which is 100% acceptable, and my personal email was blown up by my supervisor and another team lead, both asking the same thing. Please respond back with why you weren't at work today and when you'll return. The protocol we have when missing work is to email workforce management, which I did at 6:30 a.m. That's it. So please stop harassing me with emails. Stop trying to pry. Stop trying to find reasons to contact people not in the office when you truly have no reason to do such a thing other than to be a bitch and an asshole. My favorite thing when I worked at Best Buy was, I don't answer calls from Best Buy. Straight up. I mean, I did. Look, sometimes I would see it and go, screw it, I know what they need, fine, I'm bored, I'll go in and work right now. But if it's your day off, you do not have an obligation. You do not. Boomers, there's a huge labor shortage. 6 million jobs opened up. They'll hire anyone with experience and pay 6 figures starting. Reality, apply to 500 jobs, get 1 callback. It's a pyramid scheme. Oh man. Bowel movements on company time? The lighting timer has been optimized according to the Cleveland Clinic standard time for a bowel movement. When the lights go out, you have exceeded the average time needed. BM's beyond the lightning. I keep thinking it's lightning, and I know it's not, and I don't know why. Maybe there is a lightning timer in your office bathroom, which would be cool as hell. All I can say is, what, you think I'm afraid to shit in the dark? You know what? If that light turns off on me while I'm in there, oops, looks like it took me an hour and a half to take a dump. Here's the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire. 1 million seconds ago, it was last week. 1 billion seconds ago, it was 1990. If the salary is so competitive, why don't you tell me what it is? From all job seekers. Oh, it's because competitive means low as f***, but will make you think you can earn more. I simply wish to live and engage in meaningful projects without having to constantly find ways to commodify my mind, body, and time in order to sell them on the market for a pitiful fraction of what they're worth to be allowed to survive. Micromanager comes with daily timesheets, task lists, hourly check-ins, after-hours texts, inflexible work policy. After-hours texts? You mean blocked numbers? I'm still in shock. Good morning. Did you create an order for this week or an inventory? I'm confused. Was my position eliminated or not? Yes, but you did inventory and prepped an order on Sunday. Was wondering where it was, if at all. Oh, bless your heart. You don't fire someone and then still contact them to ask questions about the job because you don't know. 25 years in the kitchen, just thought you would have been a professional. In 25 years, I've never had anyone fire me and then expect me to still work. I'd rather have better compensation. Oh, novel thought, right? There's a reason to celebrate. Thanks to you, in whatever, our U.S. business delivered sales over $500 million, and our North American business, wait, what? Set an all-time high for earnings at $143 million for the first time ever. That means donuts on us tomorrow and Friday. Woo! Yay! I get a donut that cost the company 4 fucking fractions of a penny, and they get $500 million. Woo! The smarter we make the AI, the less it wants to do our jobs. It's almost like our jobs are horrible. Just been to an interview where they were 40 minutes late. Plus, the interviewer kept interrupting me and has that smug I know better than you attitude. Guess I know what to say if they offer me the job, and if they don't, at least glad I dodged a bullet there. I hate interviews, and if I didn't need a job to give me income to live, I wouldn't even have bothered. Oh man. I applied for a job at Southwest Airlines once. Just a baggage handler, basic, bottom rung, whatever. And I have never been more mistreated in an interview in my life. That woman was just a next level jerk. Boomers want to eliminate work from home so they can start having affairs again. Reminder that your kid should leave home at 18 is a psyop by the central banks to make external family members pay 10 rents and mortgages, 10 sets of utilities, 10 car payments, and 10 of every item needed for a home, plus entertainment and stress relief to cope with being alone. I believe in this one. So sad I can't get a sugar fix. No donuts, no baker. I wonder why. Maybe the baker should have been paid more. It's our hilarious intern's last day. He's autistic and a super straight shooter. My VP asked him in front of everyone on his way out, "You gonna miss this place and the people at all?" And he said, no, and walked out. Booyah! People no longer believe working hard will lead to a better life, survey shows. Well, I wonder why. Do not charge any phones or electrical devices on the premises. It is theft of electricity and will be deducted from your pay. All phones must be turned off. All right, how are you going to calculate how much electricity I use to charge my phone? Because if you overcharge me, I will charge you back. It's that simple. You can't charge me $50 to charge my phone. I know that it was like 8 cents worth of electricity usage, literally at most, and that's probably being too generous. Old people be like, Gen Z leaves jobs too easily, then get fired in an email after working somewhere for 37 years. More businesses need to be like this. To all new customers, I take pride in making a sandwich. My staff and I do not rush. This concept has been working for over 60 years at Dante's. If you have no patience, please leave. Yeah, more businesses do need to be a little bit more upfront with customers about stuff like that. Like, dude, if you're late, why the stopping for a sandwich? That's not my problem. Maybe you should pay your employees for their outstanding service instead. The delivery fee is not a tip. Oh, our drivers are so great, but we're taking all that money. I quit my job yesterday. I'd only been there 2 months. It was chaos and drama from the second I started. In the end, my boss accused me of lying about placing orders, insane, and I had the proof to show that I had placed them because obviously it was just a bizarre place with horrible leadership. I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I chose my own happiness over a toxic work culture, and I'm really proud of myself for setting the boundary. The reason It's a Wonderful Life from 1946 holds up so well is that George's line, "You know how long it takes a working man to save $5,000? has somehow not even aged slightly. Tried to quit my job and they said no. You signed onto blank, or when you signed onto it, you were required to commit to a minimum of 1 year with our company. No. Bye. Just had our Secret Santa in the office. I was the only one who didn't receive a gift. Guess who had me? The boss. Earns over twice as much as me and can't be arsed to spend 10 pounds on some novelty to join in the fun. Didn't even get an apology. Just, you'll get it at some point. I know it might sound petty, but I'm constantly asked to do things outside of my job description. We've had no Christmas bonus or anything. Just shows how much I'm appreciated. Bosses don't appreciate the employees. They appreciate the paychecks they get off their backs, though. Unions! Because it's very unlikely 3 spirits will appear and scare your boss into doing the right thing. Not unless we take matters into our own hands, right? Nurses need to be well paid to properly look after us when we need them. You can't have them worrying about putting food on the table or heating their homes in the winter or providing basics for their kids. It's not political. It's common sense. A no-brainer. Wife needs surgery. They wanted her to sign this. She said, hell no. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. Let's see. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Give my employer blank permission to directly contact my physician. Will copy me on all correspondence that is sent to my physician. No. I don't see how that could literally possibly be any of your goddamn business. That is so creepy. And you know why they want it too. Due to the fact that everything is building back better and the majority of people have become lazy under this administration, we're extremely short-staffed. So this section is closed. Let's get better. Make America work again. Because that's what human existence is all about. Work, 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 die. Woo! I'm looking for a babysitter ASAP. Paying $125 a week. I'll provide all that's needed for the child's care. What are your hours like? 5 a.m. until 6 p.m. So 52 cents an hour. Good luck. Left-wing utopia. Everyone on Earth is safe, healthy, happy, educated, and free to pursue their ambitions. Oh my God, that's awful. Right-wing utopia. White Americans work 60 hours a week in a back-breaking job they hate with no healthcare and 1 week of vacation. Oh, and everyone else is dead. I had intended to give everyone a Christmas bonus. I had an envelope with money in my computer bag along with the weekly tips. Someone stole the envelope. I was going to give everyone a minimum of $20 for each month they worked in 2022. Due to the fact that the money is gone, there will be no bonuses. I hope the thief enjoys spending their fellow employees' money. That sure is a long way to say, I didn't actually want to give you anything. Let me think of an excuse. Normalize discussing wages with coworkers. Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. I'm so tired of people being bashful and weird about it because your boss said it was illegal. No, it's not. Angel, so happy you're with us. Thank you for all your hard work. It doesn't go unnoticed. Here's $15 goddamn an hour. Oh, and you know what? We're going to keep you right there at $15 goddamn an hour. Don't you ever think you're getting otherwise. Oh wow, current vacation time. None at all. You'll work here until you die or quit. Pick one. Every time I get a gray hair, I remember that one of my stem cells is like, the working conditions here are awful and I'm done. And I respect that from a labor perspective. Management has created a toxic work environment. I am management. Stop complaining, says billionaire investor Charlie Munger. A billionaire? Expressing their opinion? Wow, my ears just turned off. Everybody's 5 times better off than they used to be. How many times better off are you, dude? Oh no, but a rail strike around the holidays could cripple the economy. Damn, sounds like their labor is really important and you should give them what they want. Also, I hate framing things as want, because it is fine to want something. You don't always have to need something, right? But for some strange reason, we have framed wanting something as it being stupid and frivolous, which is not the case. Saying, I want a nice warm winter coat. Okay, why would that be dumb? You also need one, sure, but you're allowed to want one too, right? Come on, it's okay to want things. We have got to change that stigma. And maybe there isn't one, and I'm crazy. Maybe it's just the way I was raised, being mistreated for wanting things. I don't know, man. Millennials want jobs and education, not marriage and kids. Alternate headline: y'all screwed up the economy so badly that we can't focus on marriage and kids because we're struggling to afford to live. Oh, and it would be incredibly irresponsible to have children on purpose when you can't afford to take care of them and give them a decent upbringing. If the minimum wage increased at the current rate of productivity since 1960, it'd be $24 today, not $7.25. That means billionaires and corporations have stolen at least $17 an hour from working Americans for 60 years. An estimated $50 trillion. We don't suffer a lack of resources, but an excess of greed. Man, we really kicked a lot of ass back during the Industrial Revolution at one point, right? Pinkerton's still around? I think they are. Aren't they still used to bust unions? Are we going back in time? We told Corey if he didn't find a way into work today, we'd fire him. Oh, yeah. I've seen this one. Can we just say wow and thank you to Corey? It's 9 degrees outside and Corey walked to work to help take care of our customers. We appreciate him more than he will ever know. And we'll make sure he doesn't walk home. Yeah, appreciate him more than he'll ever know. Because you're going to make sure he never knows how much you really Oh, you don't appreciate him. That's great. Well, hey, look, he may not be getting paid a normal amount of money, but at least they made a Facebook post, right? Again, I'm sorry. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best with the cursing. I apologize. Requiring doctor's notes to excuse absences due to illness is inherently classist in a country without universal health care, and I really wish we talked about it more. Yeah, let's just keep talking about this stuff. That's like step 1, right? Never shut up. The economy has shafted millennials. Now it wants their offspring too. Yes, we know you can't afford to have children, but if the economy tanks because of the low birth rate, you'll be to blame. Okay. This holiday season, Twitter fires 4,000 workers, Amazon fires 10, and Facebook fires 11, all while U.S. billionaire pandemic wealth increased an absurd $1.7 trillion. A reminder that billionaires don't create jobs, they exploit workers. Tax billionaires unionize workers. Dude bros are just demons with human skin suits. I mean, my company will weather this economic recession for one main reason. 50% of our employees are located in the Philippines and earn $10,000 a year on average, $5 an hour. No employment taxes, no workers' compensation, no health care. Also, loyal, hardworking, kind team members. Wow. You are one dirty little psychopath. Young people don't want to work. Now what? New research has found that nearly 1 in 10 young people never intend to start working. Yeah, that's not what human beings are meant to do, so suck it. Nobody likes paying taxes, but at least here in Germany, we have great healthcare, low-cost prescription drugs, easily affordable high-quality education. I feel so sorry for Americans who pay more taxes than us without these benefits. Thanks for helping us with Ukraine, though. Tired of justifying being unemployed? Can you explain the gaps in your CV? Oh yeah, that's when I didn't have a job. Twitter is both a social media company and a crime scene. You can tell being a CEO is a bullshit job if this douchebag can be 3. Yeah, what is he actually doing? Really? The death of American ambition. Staff at blue chip firms are refusing to work weekends and are demanding raises if asked to take on extra tasks, as TikTok Act Your Wage movement helps trigger outsourcing to India. What is the sick time being taken for? For being sick, thanks. As per our company policy, they need justification for your sick time since it's not reimbursable by our clients. We'll have to eat your cost. What is your ailment to justify your sick time? Oh, gee whiz, you have to eat the costs? How about you eat my costs real hard, Daddy? I don't care. I am sick. I got my Christmas bonus today. Hashtag blessed. Okay. Oh, man. Damn, you can't even feed the whole family at McDonald's for that, dude. We all need a family member like Cousin Eddie, you know? He's gonna go kidnap your boss and make that mofo see the error of his ways. Boss went radio silent after I asked for my checks. Okay. Sounds good, thank you so much. Can I come pick up checks this week? Are they trying to steal your money? I'm confused here, man. Gen Z is taking long breaks from their careers and getting away with it. Literally, what are they gonna do? If the entire world can't afford anything, what are they going to do? Are they gonna start killing us? What do they think is going to happen? If we all just say, screw it, what can they do? Mass enslave the planet? Because I don't think that's gonna work the way they think it's gonna work. Anyway, I'm gonna take a nap. Called off 5 hours in advance. Managers took me off the schedule for the next 2 weeks. Not the first time managers have done this to someone or responded in this manner. It's super great that they're allowed to punish you. It's awesome. Retaliation for you being a person. We could talk in person. I'd like to know if I'm still employed, instead of wasting both of our time with coming up there tomorrow. It's amazing that now you respond to your text. I mean, our. It's amazing how patronizing managers at this establishment are. I'll save us both the trouble. I resign as a shift lead effective immediately. I'll be in for my check Monday. Thank you. Oh, yeah, look, if nothing else, stop giving these notice. And again, Mr. Editor, I am sorry. I'm sorry, I get so darn mad, and I think that people like that. I don't know why. Cassidy, read that again, but slowly. Hi, Cindy. I see on your availability that you aren't available until 8:30. For this Friday, could you be there an hour before your availability time, Pod? If you do more than you're paid to do, eventually you'll get paid more for what you do. That has never been... Well, okay, I can't say never. Maybe it was true back in the 50s? I don't know, man. I don't know. But it's certainly not true today. It's not. Such a change. All right, 2009, $690 a month. Minimum wage, $725. 2023, nearly $1,200 a month. 2023 minimum wage, $725. This is what 56 hours nets you at $8 an hour. Employer is exempt from overtime as a movie theater. Wait, what? Really? 56 hours get you $400. Most people get paid, what, twice a month? So what is that? Oh, you can't afford rent anywhere in the goddamn country. Screw eating, dude. Forget that. I remember when I first moved to Colorado, I made $8 an hour. Yeah, it was so cool. Managers didn't communicate my day off for Easter. Now I suffer for it. Why did you not come to work? I told Shalaya last week I couldn't work Sunday. I'm with my family for Easter. I'm sorry, you didn't request time off, so you will be documented. I 100% requested off, I told her, and submitted it in the next app after telling her. I'm sorry, telling her you can't work isn't requesting off. He just said that they submitted it in the app. What? There is a scan code in the crew room you scan and fill out and blah, 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 blah. During training, they told me to use the next app for requesting days off, but all right. No, don't but all right. Keep it going. Little boss man is mad. He makes the schedule 5 hours before the start date. Employees were approved their time off over a month ago, but it's a problem now because management forgot. From now on, no one can request days off anymore. I will do the schedule. If you don't show up, you're automatically fired. That's not how this works. You know, time for just a quick little story. I remember going to an IHOP one morning when it opened around 6:30 a.m. Up sleep schedule, doesn't really matter. I think this is my favorite occurrence at an IHOP ever, where the manager was running around frantic and pissed off, and I was trying to figure out why, but I did overhear the conversation, and my server ended up dishing out to me a little bit, which was really cool. The manager was pissed off that a cook just had not shown up. It was their cook for the morning, and she didn't show up. Where the hell was she? And it turns out that the manager literally didn't schedule her. He had plenty of time, looked at the schedule, realized he did not ask her or tell her she needed to come in. She was not on the schedule at all. Said that 3 times now, so you know what it means. He's dumb. Or just forgot, whatever. But then, when she finally showed up because he frantically called her and said, "Get the f*** here now," he blamed it on her. Yep. Someone said, I think I did hear this. It was great. One of the servers said, well, you didn't put her on the schedule. What's the problem? And he said, oh, that. She knows. She knows. Boss didn't hire new employees because of their hobbies outside of work. The title really says it all. We interviewed a candidate today for a position, and my boss says she's not a good fit for the company since she likes to game outside of work. How do they know that? Did they tell them that? If I'm going in for an interview anywhere, I don't tell them anything about me personally. Oh, sure, they'll ask questions, like, what do you think your greatest weakness is, blah, blah, blah. But nah, dude, if I play video games, you don't need to know that. F you, we're not going to be friends. You're paying me. My boss states that he wants a well-rounded person and doesn't want someone who plays games when they go home for the day. Oh, right, because when they go home for the day, they should continue working for free until they die. Right, no, that's what he wants. My old job closed down for good. This was one of the reviews. Food is good, but the hygiene in this restaurant is really bad. Talked to some of the staff, and apparently the owner treats them very harshly. Thank you for your feedback, but our restaurant meets the requirements for a hygiene certification given. When did you visit us? And from the camera, we haven't seen you talking to our staff, but you talk like you know our restaurant better than we do. You said this place closed down? Thank goodness. Pretty remarkable that America temporarily constructed a safety net during COVID, including major healthcare coverage, food benefits, anti-poverty funding for families and kids, etc., and then just systematically and slowly demolished it. From what I recall, it wasn't that slowly. Company owner decided to stop paying his drivers, so one of them parked their semi on the owner's Ferrari and just left it there. Man, if I can't make enough money to pay rent or feed myself or my family or my cat or anything like that, and you show up to work with a Ferrari, you bet your ass I would rather go to prison than see your dumb face driving that around like you deserve it. From the New York Times, I agree this would have sounded unbelievable years ago. Are we actually arguing about whether 14-year-olds should work in meatpacking plants? Oh my God. Amazon CEO made $212 million in compensation in 2021, while the typical worker received $32,000. That's a ratio of 6,474 to 1. Now, we learned that the company spent $14 million on anti-union consultants. Don't tell me that Amazon can't afford to let workers join a union. They could afford so much. How does this stupid thing work? First, you scan the barcode, but it doesn't scan. Oh, that's weird. Why do I have to do this? It's about convenience. How is this convenient? The store is conveniently saving money on staff. I mean, complain all you want about those. I do like them. Having a set or two sets of the self-checkouts is a very smart idea, because people like myself who buy 1 to 3 things at a time don't need to wait 45 minutes to check out and leave, because, again, even before the self-checkouts, Walmart never had more than like 3 goddamn people running the checkout stands anyway. So it would always be backed up and messed up. So now Walmart's been doing this even before self-checkouts. We can't blame the whole thing on self-checkouts. We really can't. They weren't getting paid any more before or making any money more before. I don't believe it, dude. Micromanaging boss wants to weaponize CCing HR, so I'm weaponizing state labor laws. Good morning. According to the State Department of Labor and Industries, I'm required to submit a doctor's note for absences meeting or exceeding 3 consecutive days. However, according to Absence Tracker, only 2 of my absences were due to illness, as March 30th was a pre-approved personal holiday. As such, I will not be providing a doctor's note for those days. Thank you for all that you do. Don't include that. You don't have to be thankful. Productivity paranoia needs to stop. A worker quitting a 6-figure job so she won't have to return to the office full-time says she's a victim of her boss's productivity paranoia. I don't need to be in the office to do my work, but they want to control you, so you have to go back. My old company wants to sue me for not providing password information 4 years after they fired me. I was the manager of a network engineering team for a medium/large size for 20 years, and I was terminated in 2019. We had various passwords for routers depending on the line of business the routers belonged to. My team had the administrative password stored in a secure electronic vault. Fast forward to last week when something got into the routers and locked everyone out, and now they need the administrative passwords, but apparently the vault was taken offline and removed 2 years ago. Apparently, half their business is at standstill and they can't make payroll until this is fixed. They called me demanding the passwords, and when I couldn't produce them, they wanted to sue me. What a bunch of assholes. First they fired me, and then they want to sue me 4 years later. Laughable. Only in America. As if it's your fault. Oh, too little too late, guys. I'm gonna get fired. Ladies and gents, this is starting as of today. I get it. We all forget every so often to clock in or out. But going forward, if you consistently forget, I will forget to pay you until the following payroll. To me, one of the most important things is clocking my time in and clocking my time out. I cannot make it any easier. Just do it. I swear I'm not trying to be obtuse, but I'm in law school, so whatever. The withholding of wages for the reason of disciplinary action is illegal. It very much is. Yes, that is correct. And let me see here. Oh, I forgot to clock out last night. Cool, you don't get this entire pay period's money. Sorry. Millennials didn't kill the economy. The economy killed millennials. The American system has thrown them into debt, depressed their wages, kept them from buying homes, and then blamed them for everything. And on top of it all, we have AI coming for their jobs so fast you have no idea. There is no teacher shortage. There are thousands of qualified, experienced teachers who are no longer teaching. There's a shortage of respect and proper compensation for teachers, allowing them to actually teach. Due to rising temperatures, more workers are dying from heat than ever. So cities have mandated that construction workers get 10-minute water breaks every 4 hours. In response, Texas Republicans are now trying to pass a bill that bans mandatory water breaks. Whee! Would you look at that? Bernie Sanders to Howard Schultz. Have you ever threatened, coerced, or intimidated a worker for supporting a union? Schultz won't answer no. I've had conversations that could have been interpreted in a different way than I intended. That means yes. Sure, legally speaking, can't really get him for that, but that does mean yes, I hope you know. A huge study of 20 years of global wealth demolishes the myth of trickle down and shows the rich are taking most of the gains for themselves. Shall we all pretend to be shocked? I'm going to be fired on Monday. I run a small bar in Michigan. I run said bar in everything except pay. I have a general manager who works on average 10 hours a week. I have an owner who I've never seen do a single thing other than drink Busch Light by the gallon. The tips are even good enough that I don't complain about being paid $6 an hour. I now find out that we're closed Monday and Tuesday for spring cleaning, by the staff, for $6 an hour, for 10 hours, for 2 days. Myself and the other night bartender have said absolutely not, and we have been told we will be terminated if we do not show. On the bright side, this has given me a week to job hunt, and boy, there are a lot of opportunities out there right now. I've already had 2 interviews and have another 2 tomorrow, one of them during the hours I'm scheduled to work. Wouldn't you know it? I think I feel a cold coming on. I want to hear your thoughts on this. In South Carolina, if it matters. Buc-ee's. Yep, let's see. $18 an hour, that's what you're starting at. Food service car wash, 21, team lead, not bad. I hate that range though, just make it 22. You know, make it a little dollar difference, why not? Or you know what, even better, just make it 23. Department manager, for God's sake, that's an even bigger jump. Full-time 35 to 50 hours though. You will probably never work less than 45 hours a week. I'm just saying, that happens all the time. No experience necessary though. And then, once you get into the managerial parts, you are making very good money, you know? Imagine being a car wash manager making $125,000 a year and knowing where Buc-ee's exists? That ain't too bad, okay? That could be worse, for sure. They give you a 401k, 6% match, 3 weeks paid time off, use it, cash it, roll it, blah, 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 healthcare, part-time available, and you get $2 extra an hour for overnight. This right here is what you love to see. I still have minor nitpicks with it, but Buc-ee's knows where it's at. The only real mega downside that I have heard about Buc-ee's is that it's so goddamn awful strict working there. You know, if they catch you with a phone out, they'll just fire your ass. Or they'll have some guy take you out back and beat you with a wet towel for 2 hours or something like that. That's the only thing I've really heard. Employers sent communication that they would punish us if we had to take shelter from a tornado, even if only a few minutes. Wow. Okay, we work from home. Normal office job. We have a severe weather warning in our area. Tornado alley, yay! And we received communication today that if the sirens go off and we see a tornado or inclement weather and we need to take shelter for any reason, we will be punished. Even if it's only 10 minutes. Any time away from our desk to seek shelter will be punished. Is there no way you can submit a class action lawsuit to companies like this? There's no way it's legal to tell employees to, literally, you are telling them that if they don't risk their lives or put themselves in explicit danger, you will punish them? That feels like a lawsuit. It has to be, bro. We'll make a better world for our children. We'll make a better world for our children. You entitled brats. It shouldn't be you entitled brats, it should be f*** you, got ours. Although, if we go back to that first photo, I don't think that they wanted a better world for their children, because these are the parents that threw their kids into the f***ing coal mines. I'd say the middle ones, probably. Apparently, we also didn't need to wait the housing market, or wait for it, to crash. All we needed to do was work for it. Millennials are cheering for a housing market crash. Yeah, you're right. and I can't wait. No one wants to work anymore because there's no reward. Half of us are living paycheck to paycheck. No saving for retirement. No saving for a house. Straight up 2 paychecks away from living on the street. Yep, maybe all of us at once should stop participating and really just grind this bitch to a halt right now. What do you say? Absolutely wild how the most important story in the country right now is an impending strike of 125,000 railroad workers that will devastate supply chains, and no one's covering it because it'd be virtually impossible to avoid that unions are completely in the right here. Wonder, are the Pinkertons still around? Because I got a sneaky suspicion they're going to be called back again, dude. Also, yeah, this was September. How did this go? Is this still going on? Does anyone know? Mouse jigglers are lifesavers. Calling all remote workers. I just came across, so it's new to me, something called Mouse Jiggler. I don't want to break any rules, but I haven't seen a previous post about it, so I thought I'd share. Just search Mouse Jiggler in Amazon. Not sure if posting a link would cause me to break any rules. My work laptop goes to sleep and logs me out after 5 minutes, and it's preset. I just find it really annoying, especially since I'm at home and don't have to worry about privacy concerns. Obviously, don't use this in public or at the office, but I finally have freedom to use the bathroom and not be logged out when I get back to work, or God forbid, I grab a snack. Hope this helps. I'm gonna look that up just so that I can get some achievements in Tower Unite a little easier, you know what I'm saying? I have applied for over 2,500 jobs since June. Reached the interview stage with about 45 to 50 people, you mean? I think in the past few months. None of them panned out because UK companies don't want to sponsor visas. International education, in most cases, is a massive scam. Universities charge 3 times the fees from us, and then get companies that do not want to hire us, and we get to go back home. And that does not equate to the racism one faces. Oh, yeah, holy shit. I can't even imagine. Nobody will hire me or even tell me why they won't. I keep applying to jobs as a security guard. I've got over 8 years of history as a guard and nothing else. Every job I've applied for a year now has turned me down on the rare occasion they just didn't ghost me, and they repost the same job opening shortly after. I've applied to every security job in the city, and none of them will hire me or even tell me why they won't. I've spoken with security guards in person, and they all say they're horribly understaffed, some to the point of working 30 consecutive days of 12-hour shifts. I think they're deliberately understaffing, and the job openings are just for show. Oh, yeah, no, let me stop you right there. That's it. That's literally what's going on. This motivational quote when I walked in this morning: the reward for work well done is the opportunity to do more. Ooh. Ordered pizza for my kids, and my daughter's math teacher is the person who delivered the pizza. This lady has a master's degree, makes less money than my dumbass, and has to deliver pizza to make ends meet. This ain't the American dream they keep trying to sell us. No, it's not, and she probably makes not a whole lot. I mean, the tips are pretty good, I hear, but still. Give an example of a time you delivered on your own commitment even when it was really tough to do so. Give an example of a time that you've gone beyond you. Can you share a favorite experience of working with a team and your contribution to it? What's a valuable lesson you've learned? None of this matters. None of it does. Especially since these are the types of questions you get asked when you're trying to get a job at Wendy's. Who cares? I can cook a burger. Shut up. Climb out of your own ass, please, for 5 minutes. A humorous sign for the office from Wayfair. Company policies. Sick days. We no longer accept a doctor's note as proof of sickness. If you're able to go to the doctor, you're able to come to work. Personal days. Each employee will receive 104 personal days a year. They're called Saturday and Sunday. Let me guess, you don't actually get those days off. Vacation days. Vacation days are as follows: January 1st, Memorial Day, July 4th, Labor Day, December 25th. Thank you. Man, if I saw that shit hanging up in my workplace, even if it was a joke, again, I'm out. Dude, you should just fuck off. Controversial thesis. If the highest paid person in your university or college is the basketball coach or football coach, then it's not a university. It's a sporting franchise with a side hustle in tertiary education. Yeah, look, I know that sports brings in a ton of money. I get it. I understand, but yikes. Coach should not be making more than the people actually doing work. Your boss is never going to pay you enough to live next door to him. Let that sink in. No, we're not doing the let that sink in. Elon ruined that forever. Between a friend and his manager at a small packing plant. I need you tomorrow. Saturdays are my days off. I'll be with my fiance. I'm short-staffed and need you to come in. Okay, how much am I getting? What? You're short-staffed and you need work tomorrow. We call that expedited. For $39.75 an hour, I can be there tomorrow. I'll see you on Monday. I mean, yeah, it's a very good point. I worked for a union on, I think, 4 separate occasions, and it was the IATSE union. I did a lot of stage work back home in Washington, and it was amazing working over 8 hours one night because it was really, really cool getting to see my pay rate go from 24 an hour to like 39. Just because I worked over 8 hours in one night. And if you're wondering, I was tearing down the stage for Tool. Interesting show. I'm gonna die working. In this prison without bars, wasting my best years sitting in front of the computer, losing hours of sunshine, of life with the people I love, just to do an abusive journey. In my country, every year they change the rules and retirement seems more and more distant. Unless you're military or a politician, always afraid to lose jobs and be so poor. I always remember the speech from the Charles Chaplin movie, The Dictator. I would love to have been born truly free. I'm so tired and so hopeless. Again, I really hope that the rich motherfuckers start to take us a little more seriously. There's a lot more of us than there are of them. Please note the timestamps. I'm at my desk. You are late, thank you. What? I'm late? Yeah, your day starts at 8:30 a.m. Yeah, I messaged you 5 minutes ago. Nope, you messaged me at 8:34 a.m. Just sent you a picture of my message where it says 6 minutes ago. I'm not going to argue. I have 8:34 a.m. and it looks like I'm finding a different job today. Look, man, there is a certain level of that maybe you might be expected to tolerate, but being spoken to like this? Nah, you ain't my abusive mommy. Off. All the Starbucks employees at the Austin airport just walked out. Good Starbucks. They keep conveniently closing locations down after they vote to unionize. I have no sympathy for that whole company. Mother-in-law made a comment last night about, I know, when I started working, I made $7 an hour. Y'all, I looked it up, and that's the equivalent of $19 an hour today. Boomers think they know. They don't know. Yeah, they really don't, dude. $7 an hour back when she started working, though? I don't know about that. That's a ton of money. I'm pretty sure when I was watching that 70s show, Eric got his first job at a burger joint. He was making like $1.80 an hour or some crap like that. Inflation is a bit. Crew are not allowed to discuss their rate of pay. If you see this, definitely talk about your pay, because your employer is definitely hiding some shady and you all need to stick together for it. That's true, man. So, I'm just thinking out loud here, but like, what happens when the majority of the population stops being able to afford the cost of living? That's another thing. What if we completely run out of the ability to consume the thing that these companies rely on us to consume? You know, to be alive and make all their money. What are they going to do? No, yes. Rejection is part of the process, not the end of you. The fact that almost no jobs are advertised as low stress is concerning. I've been looking for work the last couple of months, and I just find it concerning. None of the jobs try to entice people with the words low stress. In fact, most listings do the opposite and classify the job as fast-paced environment to make it sound even more stressful. Does anyone else feel like this is just weird? I get trying to not attract slackers, but that doesn't mean people who are looking for positions with minimal stress aren't hardworking. Yeah, all this no-brainer, man. Can you sue for wrongful termination even if they offer you the job back and you turn it down? A buddy from work recently got fired for seemingly no reason, and the rumors floating around wouldn't be grounds for immediate termination. If he were to sue for wrongful termination and they offered him his job back and he told them to go screw, would suing be off the table? Since now he has an opportunity to return to work and it isn't. Yeah, wait a minute. Old rules don't work. Kellogg's announced it's firing strikers who refused designed by strike-breaking consultants offer structured to turn workers against each other, taking applications online. Millennials and Gen Z applied en masse with no intent of taking jobs, crashing the system. I was one of those people. The average rent in the US hit a new record high of $1,800 last month. On the federal minimum wage of $7.25, people take home $1,200 a month. People aren't exaggerating when they say it's becoming unlivable here. Yeah, because none of that is legally controlled. Things you overhear as an overworked first-year teacher. I'm a 23-year-old. First-year teacher at a charter school. I teach mostly 9th and 10th graders, and I'm slowly making my way through my first semester. This weekend was finally our fall break. As such, I've decided to post the highlights from my first 8 weeks of teaching. For reference, the kids call me Mrs. M, even though I'm definitely not married. Enjoy. Mrs. M, what do you want to be when you grow up? A boy pulls a female classmate aside after class. Can I ask you something? He waits for the room to empty. Have you ever heard of neodymium crystals? Leaving class one Friday? Damn, Mrs. M has a legit donk. But if they're small islands, why don't they just float away? Watching a video about Julius Caesar's assassination. Wait, is this actual footage? Yes, kids are stupid. You're there to help make them less stupid. Dude died, but they made him go to work anyway. Never told a boss off like this, and it felt amazing. Hey, Brandon, we're short-staffed for the rest of this year because Sarah just quit without any warning. We're really backed up, so I'm going to need you to come in during Thanksgiving this year. Don't be shocked if you have to come in during Christmas Eve and day, too. I already told you 3 weeks ago I need that week off, and you agreed. Now you're changing your mind? I will not be working Thanksgiving, and if you ask again, I'll not be working for you at all anymore. We've had to set expectations with you multiple times this year. Coming in is the least you can do. Your PTO request has been denied. I'm not asking you to come in. I'm telling you that you have to. And I'm telling you now that you'll have no workers at all. I quit. Yeah, f*** you, bro. That feels amazing. Oh, the day I walked off the job at Comcast was one of my favorite days ever. The amount of weight that got lifted off of my shoulders was intense. I only come into the office with a laptop. I used to bring a backpack, but then people can tell when you're coming into work and when you're leaving. Now, I just walk in with my laptop and maybe a water bottle too. That way people think I'm just coming out of a meeting, and if I come into the office at 11 a.m. Oh, sorry, even if I come into the office at 11 a.m. Sometimes I leave home early too, around 2 p.m., walking out with my laptop, and people think I must be walking somewhere. Truth is, I'm walking out to the parking lot to leave, just like I'm doing right now. Peace! Today I learned some office employees make a point of taking laptops home every night to give the appearance of productivity, whether they intend to work at home or not. Office culture is exhausting. I started a new in-office job this week. I noticed everyone took their laptops home at the end of every day and brought them back every morning. I worked my full 8 hours plus salary and felt good about what I had accomplished, so I left mine there. I told this to my family, and my husband informed me that it's common for people to make a show of bringing work home to show how dedicated they are, even if they don't do any work overnight. I am so over office bullshit culture. Why are we pretending to work overtime? Just to prove to the boss that we're good little worker bees. I don't belong in an office. I just can't think that way. Going remote soon, hopefully. There is no teacher shortage. There are thousands of qualified teachers who are no longer teaching. There's a shortage of respect and proper compensation for teachers, allowing them to actually teach. 100% true. My mom is a teacher. She just got her master's like a year or two ago. She is worth so much more than the public school district will offer her. It's laughable. It's insane. You spend all that time, all that money, getting a degree that should earn you, well, quite frankly, a lot. And what do you get? Oh, well, you can claim $250 of your expenses a year. Meanwhile, as a content creator, I can do so much more. I don't have a goddamn limit. I can go batch crazy on my expenses. And no, that's not me telling you I'm breaking tax laws. That's following the rules. I have an accountant. We're following the rules. And when compared to what a teacher is allowed to deduct, it's laughable and disgusting. McDonald's and Visa partnered to show fast food restaurant workers can live on $8.20. Oh man, wow, really? If they budget. Unfortunately, that budget includes working a second job and not having heat. Okay, let's take a look at this. Monthly expenses. Savings of $100, okay? Mortgage/rent. $600. Look, I know that there are some parts of the United States where that might be true. You know, a crappy, not even a one-bedroom, probably a studio, but out here in the Colorado Springs area, double that at minimum, and you're living in a dumpster, okay? Now let's take a look at this. Car payment, $150, okay? That's reasonable if you took out a small loan. Car, home, and insurance, or car/home insurance, excuse me, $100. No. Especially if you're young, no, not a chance. Health insurance, absolutely not. I have employer health care, I have employer health care, and it costs $200 a month out of my paycheck. Heating? Yeah, you don't need heat. Look at Texas. Cable/phone, $100. Again, worked at Comcast. Good luck. I don't care how old this is either. Electric. I mean, on rare occasions? Other, $100. Monthly expenses total, $1,260. Monthly spending money, right. This is proof that rich people are so incredibly out of touch with reality. It's a banana, Michael. What could it cost? $12?